so I don't know if the door's unlocked.
I'll have to go check in a minute.
Well, he's going to be knocking at the door.
Yeah, well.
I didn't know he was coming over, so you have to...
I don't remember. Hmm?
22 views yesterday.
No, there was more than that.
It says right on the page.
I know, but there because of all the other places, it was like over 2,000. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep. It says no internet here on my computer.
I will figure out why in a minute.
Yeah, I have December 19th is the last.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
Yes, yes, yes.
I got a little change in my pocket going jingle-lang-a-lang. Wants to call you on the telephone, baby. I give you a ring, but each time we talk, I get the same old thing. Always no huggy, no kissy until I get a wedding ring. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon no shelf. She said don't give me no lines and keep your hands to yourself.
You're listening to Tony Bruno, unfiltered, uncensored, unintelligible.
I know him.
Here is Tony Bruno.
Hello there, kids. It is New Year's Eve as we wind down not only the year 2019, but the decade, the 2010s. By the way, do you have a couple 10s? I only have a couple 20s, Robin.
Damn, I think my kids just left, so I think they took them all.
Damn right they do. Tony Bruno, Miss Robin, Luigi, I guess, is going to show up here.
At some point.
As the front door's locked, and now we're going to have to go open the front door. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, people are responding, and we have something going on in this city. Not just that the Eagles, if you don't care about sports and don't know that the Eagles won the NFC East, a division that nobody wanted, a division that, by the way, at this hour, Robin, 1 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, has only one coach employed, and that, of course, is Doug Peterson, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles at this hour, subject to change, is the only coach who has a job in the NFC East. The New York Giants fired Pat Shurmur, and, of course, the Giants lost to the Eagles yesterday in a wild game where there was toe-to-toe, and the Giants were getting completely dominated statistically, but the Eagles weren't able to score a lot of points, and it was 17-17 and scary for a lot of fans, which is a lot of people expected going into that game. But then Carson Wentz, the much maligned guy who can't stay healthy, has not been able to play a full season, has never taken a playoff snap, is not good, he's not accurate, he's no Dak Prescott, he's no this guy, he's no that guy. Basically, and oh, by the way, the other excuse, even Rex Ryan. What's the matter? Even Rex Ryan, who somehow grew up around football and is employed by ESPN and seems to have zero clue about how football works. Kind of embarrassing that Rex Ryan on ESPN is that clueless. Does he watch football? I know he coached. His dad was Buddy Ryan. I remember when Rex Ryan was a kid, when Buddy Ryan was coaching here. And again, it's not a difference of opinion I'm talking about. It's not using any facts. You got to get some facts and then come back and see me on this show. And I'm not standing jumping around. I didn't go crazy when the Eagles won the game and clinched the NFC East. I've been saying it all along. I had the Eagles done. I had people sending me a tweet that I posted when they lost to the Miami Dolphins, and I said, absolute rock bottom has been achieved. That was the rock bottom game. Not rock bottom brewery, of course. But the rock bottom was achieved when the Eagles lost to the Miami Dolphins to make them 5-7. Everybody wrote them off. I did too, because the inconsistency of the season. And remember, you go back, the Eagles still had some of their actual star players playing on offense at that point. Luigi's here now, cashing in on his Eagles victory yesterday.
What it do, baby?
What it do is right. But I tried to tell you that all these other teams, that's why you don't look at FanDuel and all these spots to figure out who's going to play. I told you yesterday, by the way, getting off topic for a second, that the Baltimore Ravens were not going to start any of their top players.
Yeah, no reason
I
to.
told you that the Houston Texans weren't going to start. But you told me that, FanDuel's saying that they're going to start Deshaun Watson and
as of 12 p.m. yesterday.
They were wrong.
They had it out there that they said that they would play very limited I love the walk-up sounds by Okay. You want to play rough? I love that.
That one is.
Here's the moral to the story. Just
play
as I was
action
ripping Rex Ryan. Don't use fantasy sites or sites that really don't know the latest. Rely on information from real people like Adam Schefter. That's where I go to legitimate sources of legitimate information. And as good as these FanDuel and DraftKings and all these fantasy sites are, they're not up to the minute on player. The fact is that we all knew that in a lot of these games, especially the Ravens, and especially with the Houston Texans, who had nothing really to play for, they didn't put their starters out there. Again, it's not a big deal. It's just FanDuel, shame on you, FanDuel, for misguiding the dopes who follow your fantasy crap.
Why you got to come in my neck?
Because I was trying to tell you yesterday, look for legitimate factual sources first.
I know
That's
that,
all I'm saying.
There was nobody in their right mind was going to bet any money on the Houston Texans last night, no matter what.
I mean, the Tennessee Titans, to me, were the lock of the day
I'll
yesterday.
tell you what, man. I said this a couple weeks ago. Nobody wants to see Tennessee in the playoffs.
And you know who else nobody wants to see?
Who?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
That's right, Tony. Bust up the Eagles. Bust
I'm
them
wearing my
up.
Carson Wentz shirt. Now, again.
Are you ready for war? Because you got the camo jersey on.
I got the camo jersey. Listen. There's one thing that I will take credit for. I have nothing to do with guys dropping balls. I have nothing to do with guys not making tackles. I have nothing to do with point spreads, who wins the game, who plays the game, who's hurt, who's not hurt. You know, I wasn't one of the guys last week sucking Dak Prescott dry because, poor Dak Prescott, he was hurt. That's why he couldn't come into Philadelphia and beat the Eagles. And all of a sudden, he had a miraculous recovery and dropped 48 on the Washington Redskins yesterday. Again, I don't hate Dak Prescott. I don't really hate the Cowboys. They're just a team that America feels better when the Cowboys lose, except for Cowboy fans.
Right. Did you see the tweet I put out there?
Which one?
The one with the Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan. At New Year's Eve, I said all the Cowboys fans celebrating a win over the Redskins, and the confetti's falling down. Just sitting there all pissed off.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot of, there's the off-ramp. Some people are putting memes out there. There's one with all the gods, the hexagon.
Yes.
Did you see that one? And then it says the Dallas God at the bottom, which is the cow. Listen, people are going to make fun of the Cowboys.
Of course.
Because let's be honest, they've been called America's team. And they have now gone 25 years without even tasting or smelling a Super Bowl. And so when you want to be the best, you got to at least win some playoff games. I get you win divisions, and they have actually a better record than the Eagles over the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the matter is the Eagles are in the playoffs for their third consecutive year. Did they win a crappy division? Yes. Somebody had to win the division. And now the people saying, well, the last 4 games were against really shitty teams. They played a shitty team in Miami and lost to them to drop to 5-7, right? Oh, by the way, that same shitty team that I thought was going to knock the Eagles out of the playoffs just knocked the stinking New England Patriots out of a seed. They knocked their asses into a play-in game.
I know. How about that, Tony? How about the Miami Dolphins and Ryan Fitzpatrick go out there on 4th down, 4th and goal, and Fitzmagic comes up with a little bit of magic and knocks Brady off the pedestal. Now they got to fight for their supper, and they got to play in the first-round wild card games.
And by the way, Dean, I know you're listening in Clearwater. I would like my case of Michael and David wine. It could be all one. It could be all earthquakes in.
No, mix it up.
You don't have to buy me Raptures. You don't have to buy me the $50, $60 bottles. Just get me a case.
Can we get one ink blot in there, though?
Maybe one ink blot. Just mix it up a little bit.
God, Frank is
because as I said to Dean, and again, I don't hate the Patriots. I don't hate Tom Brady. I don't even hate Dak Prescott or the Cowboys.
People on the Twitch are already saying, where's Dean at? Where's he at?
And I said to Dean, I said, again, and if you look at the numbers, and that's what we do on the show, because numbers don't lie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'll have what she's having too.
This is getting a little outrageous.
Hey, I understand it.
It's
People
usually what
saw-
happens when I walk into the room.
And by the way, as I was saying before I ripped Luigi and FanDuel, I don't have any control over what these teams do, what the players do, what guy drops a pass, which guy makes a tackle, which kick gets missed, which kick gets made. I sit back and watch like everybody else. And then I comment like everybody else because we're still in America at this hour. Who knows what happens in the future, but I know right now we still have the right to our opinions. And bottom line is this. I believe if there's any way that I had influence in this Eagles victory yesterday.
I can't wait to hear
If I could find one angle where I could say, because you got these guys that make $5-10 million a year. You got Skip Bayless, doing his whole I love the Cowboys, I hate the Eagles to get people to go tune in. I get that. That's part of the business.
It's the shtick.
And then you got Stephen A. Smith, who's not even a Philly guy, who now has basically inherited the Eagles as his team, and he taunts the Cowboys. And that's fine. That gets people to go watch their TV shows. That's part of what we do in this business.
Of course.
But I believe that I, too, have a right to claim some responsibility for the Eagles' victory.
All right, I can't wait to hear this, Tony.
What happened last week, Robin? Last week when we were at Landmark Americana. Actually, it came the day before when I said, then proclaimed, that if the Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys here in Philly on that Week 16 game, that I would streak naked through the parking lot at Landmark Americana in Glassboro, New Jersey.
Did you yell, excuse me, while I whipped this out when you did that?
I didn't even have to. The people there saw. They came, they saw, they were
saw
impressed.
the tabernacle swinging in the wind.
Exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And so I did what I said because just like I told Dean that the Patriots are not going to go to a Super Bowl. I didn't say they were going to be bad. They're still 12-5?
By the way, I don't know if everybody saw the video.
Clarky Rob says Tony's dressed to go to a NASCAR race.
Carson Wentz, baby. Carson Wentz, bitches.
That's who wears those jerseys, though, man. The NASCAR guys.
They do. I thought the Eagles wore these during the
do,
salute to service.
It's still funny as
NASCAR.
hell, though. It's still funny as hell, though.
I put my money where my mouth is.
Yes, you did, Tony. Yes,
and
you
so
did.
what happened yesterday after the game? Did you see what happened? Carson Wentz was bare-ass naked in the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
That's a timely drop right there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Now, I don't think he was planning. I mean, he gets dressed and undressed in there. So players get naked in locker rooms. For those of you who haven't been in locker rooms, not the one with Billy Schweim on 97.3, that locker room.
You can catch that every week, though.
Exactly. So Carson Wentz, they're interviewing, I guess it was, what's his name? Brandon Graham was being interviewed.
Yeah, I
and
think
in
so.
the background,
we got on this ship anyhow.
everybody's an asshole today. And in the background of the Brandon Graham interview in the locker room, there is Carson Wentz. Do we have that picture, Robin? Can you find it?
I'm looking for it right now.
I have a lot of animal videos. If you look at my Twitter feed, everybody goes crazy about I post really fun stuff, important stuff, goofy stuff, animal stuff. It's all about that stuff.
Tony, like I said, I saw you looked a little slow getting out of the stance, but once you got up there, that top end speed was there, Tony.
Exactly
What
right.
do you think you ran? How many yards do you think you ran?
That was almost 100 yards, like 83 yards, and I did it in under 10 seconds.
Yeah?
Not really. I don't know what I did. I just did it.
What kind of shoes were you wearing?
I was wearing my black Skechers.
No, really?
That's what I always
you
wear.
You didn't get all equipped with it and get the
Hell
right shoes?
no. You would have done that. You would have gone out there and put in the track and my
I have
run.
to.
You would have got one of your numbers from one of your half marathons you run.
Yeah, stapled it right to
Broad
my
Street Run, little sticker on there with a number on
Where's
it.
my medal, Chief?
I took everything
You know what?
off.
Let's
I went.
do this first, Tony,
Yes.
since I found this one first.
Okay,
I
let's
found
go
it-
back to the video. This is me putting it all on the line.
I've yet to see this.
Last Monday night at Landmark Americana for the final Monday night game pregame show that we've been doing there all year. And now Monday Night Football is over. And so the Eagles won the game. I didn't say they were going to lose. I said if they beat Dallas, I will streak naked in the parking lot. And so people were there. I said the same thing when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, that if they won the Super Bowl, I would streak naked down Broad Street. And the reason why I didn't do that, not because I was afraid, I didn't do it because I had pneumonia.
Yeah.
And so I'm not
you
going to
didn't
put
do
my
it
life on
because
the line.
Miss Robin said, no, you are not going to streak naked while you have
Exactly.
major pneumonia. And it
Listen,
can
there are crazy people in the city, who run down the street doing crazy stuff. The Mummers Parade's coming up in a couple of days.
You want to see crazy stuff? You want to see crazy stuff. You know what? I think I might get out there. It'll be my first ever Mummers Parade. I've never gone to the actual parade. Or
Are you serious right now?
Yes, Tony, I'm serious.
I have to do this real early in the show.
I just moved to South Philadelphia. It's my first year here.
You don't have to live in South Philly to have gone to a Mummers Parade.
But I'm going to take it in. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to take it in.
All right. I have it. I have this up
sex.
and running.
I love everything about it.
All right, so let's go last Monday night. This is after the Eagles beat the stinking Cowboys here in an ugly game, in a game where Dak Prescott wasn't 100%, but he had all of his weapons. So I don't want to hear any excuses. If Carson Wentz, and a lot of people made excuses for him, I never made excuses for any of these players. You know, players are paid to catch the ball. And the guys that he had around him earlier in the year, the crybabies like Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar, the guys who would call Josina Anderson to bitch about what's going on inside the locker room. You know, those guys who should be out of here next year. Because the bottom line with football is everybody has talent. Even if you're on a practice squad, that means somewhere, somehow, somebody saw something in you and gave you a chance. It's like me and Luigi. You know, I don't know if I saw something in him, but then I saw something in him. You know what I'm saying?
And FYI, if you are watching on Twitch, you're going to be able to see everything. If you're watching on other platforms,
I don't know if I want to see everything.
No, but
what do
you're
we
gonna be
get for $10?
You'll be able to see the video. If you are watching on other platforms such as Instagram or something like that, you are only going to see one camera. You're not going to see all the extra stuff.
By the way,
yes.
By the way, I went to I went to get a massage at a Chinese parlor, and I was propositioned.
Was Robert Kraft there?
Were you
when his
really?
Team?
I was.
No.
Yes.
You were given the option of a happy ending.
It was the funniest goddamn
thing. Was it the Orchids of Asia one?
I don't. It was right up here on Broad Street, man. I'm
Really?
not even
Really?
joking. I did not even know. I went. I turned around. She was like, "Okay, turn around," and she takes my towel off, and she goes, "You want this, right?" And I was like, "I'm a cop." She goes, "Cookies?"
Excuse me while I whip this
I was like, no. I swear, I was propositioned for it. And I said, I'm a cop. She said, cookies? And put her hands up like this. I was dying. She was like 93 years old. I'm like, what the?
Was she was an old lady?
She was older, yes. She was older. She had a hell of a massage.
Yeah.
On the backside.
And you almost got a happy ending?
I could have had one if I want. I thought this place was on the up and up. I just wanted a regular old deep tissue massage. My body was hurting.
Wait a minute. There's massage parlors on Broad Street?
Yeah, right at Broad and Moore.
Really?
By the way, if you're looking for a happy ending, right there at Broad and Moore, the corner. It's easy. $40, brother.
I wonder what would happen if I would go there.
Probably get propositioned for something.
Yeah?
Like I said,
I wonder what they would offer for a woman.
She was paying special attention to my keister, right? Like really like work on this thing.
Well, I've had a lot of keister work done too myself in the last few months.
And I'm going, well, that's I'm like, I guess this is a little bit deep tissue, whatever, no problem. She's working the buttocks. And then she tells me to turn over and just rips the towel off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here?
Yeah. And then you finally said, Luigi finally was wondering at that point.
What the hell was that?
Exactly.
Now
what the hell was that?
No extra charge for the gum
When she
jobs.
was working on the keister on your back end, when she's like massaging the buttocks, did her thumbs kind of like wander down?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it turns. But it was the best because I hit her with the I'm a cop, but she said cookies instead.
She really did that.
She did that. We should all go in. We should all go
We've
in.
come in for a group.
We should all go in.
Group massage.
Nah, listen. It was look. I went on the when I was in Dallas. I went and got a full body massage at an Asian place. Complete on the up and up. Complete on the up. But the windows were blacked out like a caprice down in North Philly. All right, the windows were completely blacked out. But it was completely on the up and up. She was a professional. Totally professional.
How do you know this woman was a professional? Did she have a license?
How did I know this woman was a professional? She said $40 for a hand job. That's a professional, if you ask me, Tony.
Shut up! I never pay more than 10. I'll just go to K&A and get one for $5 if I needed that. I mean,
it's raining outside. It's 2 for $5 today, brother.
Where the white women at?
Yeah, they're probably in there too. Anyway, enough about Luigi almost getting a Robert Kraft job here, so to
Well,
speak.
speaking of white women, there's a white ass that we want to show everybody.
So anyway, let's get it back. Let's get it back to me running naked in the parking lot. So this was last Monday night, a week from tonight. Landmark Americana, Glassboro, where we were every single week on Monday nights. And this is what I did when I said if the Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys, which they hadn't been doing, that I would streak naked in the parking lot. Let's go to the videotape. Multiple camera angles here now for those of you who have not seen this. Let's look at it live.
What the
started with a slow trot because you remember I hadn't trained for this.
Tony Bruno, Jesus.
And I have 22-year-old Conlon Thompson, the intern, following me. And there you have it. I look like there he is. There's Conlon Thompson with the robe, chasing me down. Not Conlon Thompson, Conlon Farrell.
What the hell? What the hell did you have in front of you?
I had a big bow.
I had made a bow, and then I used some of my bra straps to strap it around his white ass.
You were not taping anymore here.
What's up with the fishtail, bro?
That's my.
That's his tie-dye bathrobe.
Exactly, bro. I wanted to go bohemian. I wanted to go old school, Woodstock type stuff.
Tony, I love you. But here's the thing, though, is that we're about to get 2 for 1.
And
because
so
I got to do this, too.
No, you don't.
No,
have you made a promise that you said I would streak if the...
I did. I made a promise I would streak if the Dolphins won more than 3 games, and those motherfuckers won 5. So now I got to streak myself. I may do it this year. I may go back to the Bay of the Breakers and run it naked.
Well, everybody does that in San Francisco.
I know, but still.
Come on.
It's a sight.
If you don't run naked, there's something wrong with you.
It's a sight to see, bro.
Now, people are saying that this is a visual that they will never be able to get out of their minds.
I leave an impression on, and I also left an impression on Carson Wentz.
Yes, you did, Tony.
Because it's Carson Wentz's birthday today. Did you know
mazel
that?
tov.
It's his birthday.
So let me see if I can find the naked Carson Wentz now.
It's on Twitter. It's all over the place. And
I
again,
thought
what
Jesus
people have done is he's in the background, and it's his locker. He's in the locker room. He's getting changed. She gets showered, and he gets changed. So while Brandon Graham's being interviewed, in the background, somebody zoomed in and brought the picture out. But you could look carefully, and you see Carson Wentz completely naked in the background. And that's not what he does. You know, he's a very religious guy. He doesn't get naked like I do.
You got to give me some props, too, man. How much did I nail that saying yesterday? They will get a strip sack at some point and get that big fumble that will turn into a touchdown. Tony, I love the people on our Twitch stream. Absolutely, the comments.
And by the way, we got to give it up to Stevie B, who was there yesterday.
Yeah, real nice guy, actually. Not an asshole like I thought he was going to be. He's a really nice guy.
Exactly. So anyway, that's what happened. Carson gets naked because that's what happens when you're in the locker room and you take your clothes off after you win a game.
Mm-hmm.
You usually get naked and put your clothes on. And you put on. And by the way, for the people that thought that the Eagles came up with that NFC East champs, no, the East is not enough. Every single division winner this year. This was concocted by either the NFL. It had to be by the NFL. Because remember, when the Packers won, their T-shirt said, the North is not enough.
Right.
And then you saw the 49ers last night when they beat Seattle. They had the shirt saying, the West is not enough. And then the Eagles had the East is not enough. So this is something that all division winners have. The NFL obviously came up with the idea because people were asking Carson Wentz, did you make that shirt yourself? No. The league made the shirts.
I don't know.
And then they give them to you at the end. The Cowboys, I'm sure, have them. The East is not enough.
The East is not enough.
And so Jason Garrett is not enough either because apparently he's on his way out.
They have shirts that say not enough for the East. That's what they
Exactly
had.
right. And again, I'm not going to sit here and rip the Cowboys all day. That's too easy.
No, that is way too easy. But Garrett,
Exactly.
Tony, his contract's up. Can you see? Is there any foreseeable way that they bring him back after the 10-year that Jason Garrett?
No, he's gone. According to the insiders now in Dallas, I said at the beginning of the show, right now, the only guy with a job in the NFC East is Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is the only employed coach. Pat Shurmur was fired this morning by the Giants. And, of course, the Washington Redskins got rid of Jay Gruden earlier in the year. Their interim coach is not going to be the head coach. Apparently, they're going to go after, as I said yesterday on the pregame show,
Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera is locked in. Ron Rivera is going to be the next coach of the Washington Redskins, but he isn't yet. So right now, there's an opening in Washington, an opening in Dallas, and an opening in New York.
And Cleveland. And Freddie
Yeah, but I'm
Kitchens
talking about this division.
Oh, this division. I'm sorry, Tony. Okay.
Yeah, this division, Doug Peterson's the only – and here's what's interesting. Doug Peterson, in the time he's been here, the Giants are now going on their third coach since Doug Peterson. Remember, the Eagles settled for Doug Peterson. You know who everybody wanted?
Gus Bus, baby.
They wanted the Gus Bus, but they also wanted – no, that was before Chip Kelly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
that was
right.
Chip Kelly. Everybody wanted Gus Bradley because he yelled.
They wanted Gruden. They wanted John Gruden.
They wanted John Gruden. He was still doing Monday Night Football. But remember, there were guys – the guy who became the Giants head coach is who a lot of people wanted.
Benny Mack?
Yeah, Ben McAdoo was a guy, remember? Oh, Ben McAdoo. So there were a couple of names, and the Eagles settled for Doug Peterson. And obviously, and Doug Peterson's been much maligned this year. He doesn't call the right plays. And people in every city do this. He doesn't call the right plays. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a bad clock manager, blah, blah, blah.
Chris F29 saying Matt Rule going to the Giants.
I said that yesterday.
I can see Matt Rule leaving now for the NFL.
Absolutely. And I said it. In fact, when you go to Adam Schefter's feed, when Adam Schefter talked about, guys with coaching possibilities, I wrote to him, right back to Adam Schefter, who does follow me, of course.
Of course.
Well, why not? I mean, all the real NFL.
You are who you
the
are.
only NFL people that don't follow me are the Bobo NFL people. I have the best NFL people following me. Believe me. Trust me. Believe me when I tell you. I follow the best people, and the best people follow me.
You.
All of these slap dicks, with the little podcasts in their basements like I have right here.
Exactly.
I mean, but they're slap dicks. I've at least been a veteran slap dick in my own basement, not in my mom's basement.
You slap your dick. You're not a slap dick.
Well, I don't pay for it. If I didn't know, I would have gone to Broad. And when Robin was away in Arizona, I would have
took you on me,
could have
Tony.
walked a block and
On
gotten.
me.
Damn it, Tony.
What's a handy amongst friends? You know what I'm saying? What's a handy amongst friends? I'm going to take Robin for Christmas. That's what I'm going to do.
You could have been taken care of while I was gone.
Yeah.
Nah, I'd rather save the money and take care of myself.
It's a real bonding experience here on the Bruno Show.
Tony, I finally found it. It took me a while because
So there it is. There's Brandon Graham. Now you see the video. Brandon, it's a picture. I don't think it's a video.
Yeah, no, it's a still video. It's still picture.
So this here is Brandon Graham still has his jersey on. Obviously, he did a lot of interviews. The one he did on NBC Sports Philly with my man Derek Gunn. I love Derek Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Gunn, I said this to him. I wrote him a tweet this morning. Derek Gunn, there's all these local sports town media, NBC Sports, Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good people that do this. They're there every day. They're going live at the press conferences. And I like John Clark. He's a local guy. Derek Gunn does the best post-game interviews in the locker room, outside the locker room with the players, because they obviously have a bond with him. They trust him. They like him. Brandon Graham breaks his chops all the time when he's coming coming down the tunnel. Oh, you picked against me, and he rips Ryan Clark at ESPN.
It's like a Sasquatch photo.
And so in the back of this interview, people see Carson Wentz bending over, and his hand is appropriately placed. So just like I was when I was running through the parking lot.
Yeah.
So Carson Wentz wins the NFC East, the division nobody wanted, and only the Cowboys were fighting to get. Because let's be honest, Washington and the Giants were shot from Jump Street this year. And so it was Dallas and the Eagles division to fight out. And Dallas didn't win enough big games. And the Eagles, for the people that are knocking their schedule, that's the other thing. I love it. The schedule. Well, they played 4 bad teams. This isn't college football where you pick your opponents.
Right.
You play to win the games against the teams that are on the schedule. The New England Patriots played the Miami Dolphins in a Week 17 finale in their building.
And how great was that? Because of the fact that it was a divisional game. The fact that the NFL set up these lists last month of the season for all the divisions to play inside a division makes football fantastic. How about that Detroit Green Bay game last night or yesterday, which had major implications on Green Bay?
Yeah.
That was a divisional game. The Lions played them tooth and nail, Tony.
You see the interesting stat on that game?
What was that?
In the 2 games that the Packers played against the Lions this year, the Green Bay Packers never had the lead in either game for 1 second.
How about they had to come back in both games? How about that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They never had the lead in either game. They trailed in both games and won it at the very end. So in other words, it was tied and they won the game the first time. They came back again yesterday. They looked like they were going to get blown out of the building. But look at the first half, how we were ripping. We were ripping
Aaron Rodgers. He missed.
But he had guys drive. It looked like an Eagles game. He was either overthrowing receivers, receivers were dropping the balls, and the Packers looked like they were mailing it in. And give the Detroit Lions credit. They came out, they ran a Philly special. They played hard.
Yes, they did.
They didn't quit in their final home game. They went out there and played hard, and Aaron Rodgers was not with it in the first half. He was horrible, but what happened? Boom, second half. Flips the switch. They got a great running back. They got a great receiver. Aaron Jones is another one of those guys.
He just started. Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys. He's going to miss. He's going to miss. He's going to miss. And sooner or later, he's going to get hot and start connecting. And that's what happened. But that's the reason why, Tony, that Matt Patricia was not fired, is because the Lions play hard for this coach.
And they were down to David Blau.
Right. Blau.
David Blau was out there yesterday. No, I don't see. I know my buddy Steve in Detroit, who calls us all the time. He was one of, and a lot of fans are like this. I'm not going to single him out. I'm not saying he's a bad fan. I'm just saying that The fans, when teams don't go well, and remember, Detroit beat the Eagles earlier in the season. Detroit has talent. That's the thing. They have some talent on that team. They're not bereft of talent.
No, they got
good
fantastic wide receivers. They got T.J. Hawkinson was the young rookie tight end, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, Matt Stafford's no slouch. The defense got better. They had an injury with Kerryon Johnson, the running back, early in the year, which really kind of hurt them because they had no running back. They're down to like Bo Scarborough.
No, they did, and can give the Lions
Give Matt Patricia a good time.
And they played hard. And you know who else played hard, and that's why he saved his job as much as people hated Adam Gase in New York? They went 6-2 down the stretch, the Jets.
Listen, that Jets team, and Tony, that Jets team, that defense is for real. The problem is that they had a lot of injuries early on.
Jamal Adams was hurt.
No, forget about the defense. On the offensive side of the ball, first of all, you lose Sam Darnold for a month because he's kissing unsultry women. And then, on top of that, they lost every wide receiver with the exception of Robbie Anderson to injury. They had to bring in Demaryius Thomas off the scrap heap to try to help them out. And it took a while for Le'Veon Bell to get going. Listen,
Le'Veon Bell never got going.
Say what you want.
That was a horrible signing. Let's be honest.
It wasn't a horrible signing.
It was a horrible signing. You bring a guy in because he's a stud, and then you don't allow him to be a stud.
Well, the scheme doesn't match up with what Le'Veon does.
Then why do you bring him in?
Because you try to adapt the scheme, but it really didn't work with the personnel they have. And you don't be surprised if they don't look to trade Le'Veon Bell. It's going to be a little difficult with the contract, but don't be surprised if they don't look to trade Le'Veon Bell in the offseason. But the thing is, again, getting back to the Matt Patricia thing, Tony, that team didn't quit on Adam Gase. They played harder every single week.
And as much as the New York media wanted Adam Gase gone because of the weird eyes and he was a weird dude. So, look, a lot of guys saved their jobs yesterday.
Yes, they did.
Pat Shurmur, even though the Giants played well, especially on defense, I mean, their defense played really, really well. And they weren't a good defense statistically, but they really hung tough with the Eagles. The Eagles should have blown them out in the first half, but give the Giants credit. They stopped them on third down multiple times.
Yes, they did.
And it became a nail-biter as a lot of people thought it would. But in the second half, Carson Wentz, to me, and again, you can rip the guy all you want. He can't stay healthy. 16 games. He sets all the Eagles' passing records.
Yep.
4,000 yards without a 500-yard receiver. Never been done in the history of the NFL.
Which it's amazing if you think about it. How it's harder to not do that than it is to do it. You know what I mean?
And you look at, he is Mr. December. You know how we talk about Mr. October was Reggie Jackson was Mr. October?
Yep.
You tell me a quarterback. Now, there's obviously quarterbacks playing at a high level all year in the NFL. But when it was crunch time, when you needed to win your final 4 games after you shit the bed against the Miami Dolphins, down there, by the way, inexcusable because you're up 14. But we've seen that the Dolphins didn't quit either. Everybody wanted them to get the first pick, to go out there and just mail it in, and they didn't mail it in.
Nope.
And that's the difference between the NFL and most other sports leagues. Let's be honest. NBA players, when there's nothing to play for,
you mail it in.
They mail it in. Again, I'm not trying to rip the NBA. I'm just saying that you see in the NFL, when you're playing, when the guys are still out there playing, there are players playing for jobs, playing for positions next year, trying to impress coaches
staffs. Playing for their livelihood.
So the bottom line is, the Giants showed up yesterday. They were home. They were more Giant fans than Eagle. Everybody thought it would be an Eagle takeover. There were a lot of Eagle fans, but the Giant fans, to their credit, they're still rooting because they've got a quarterback of the future. I don't think there's any doubt that Danny Dimes is a good quarterback.
No, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, they're set up.
They're set up.
Absolutely.
They're set up. The thing that really, Tony, I'll tell you one thing right now. We got lucky the fact that their tight end Evan Engram wasn't playing. We got really lucky for that. He's a major weapon.
The Caden kid from the Niners that they let go, he had a good game.
Caden Smith, he had a nice game.
Caden Smith is a nice big target.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's not Evan Engram.
The Giants are not bereft of talent. The Washington Redskins, who obviously fired their GM, finally they're going to bring in a guy who will get some control of the organization. Because, George Allen's son, who I've known forever, Bruce Allen, they finally said, hey, Bruce,
look,
we can't fire the owner. Everybody hates the owner.
Right.
But we're going to take you down a couple of notches.
We've tried.
We're going to take you down a couple of notches, and we're going to bring in a coach who we're going to give some control over personnel. Not total control, but at least bring a coach in who knows the game. And Bruce Allen, again, whatever pictures he has of the owner, I mean, that guy has had a job forever as the GM.
Same as Marvin Lewis, man.
But Marvin Lewis was just a coach. Bruce Allen was the GM, president, CEO.
Know, but a coach.
Jerry Jones, at least, he's president, owner, and CEO and everything else, but he makes the decisions, and he takes the heat for the decisions he makes. Bruce Allen goes up in his box. Nice guy. He goes up in his box and is not accountable.
That's what that's the thing that scares me too. Not scares me, but actually intrigues me is who are the Dallas Cowboys going to hire as a head coach? I mean, you got to bring in somebody with some legit credibility. And I'm just wondering who's out there on the market to get. You can't bring in a college coach. You're not gonna advance Kellen Moore from offensive coordinator to
Urban
head coach.
Meyer. There's a lot. Listen, I'm not worried about who's going to hire who right now.
No, it's just an interesting
I
topic
said
to
to
think
Adam
about, that's all.
Schefter yesterday when he was talking about coaches who are going to get interviews, and I said it before. Not because I know Matt Rule and I'm a Temple apologist. Matt Rule is going to get one of these head coaches jobs.
Well, he's going to at least get an offer. He's going to get an offer.
And remember, the Jets had a chance to get him last year.
Yes, they did.
And they passed him up for Adam Gase. And a lot of people, but now, again, people, what did Matt Rule do? Matt Rule, it's not about winning games at Temple or Baylor.
About building a product.
It's about being a confident guy,
Yes.
an up-and-comer. And there's a lot of assistant coaches he's not even an assistant coach in the NFL. He was before he became the Temple coach. Mm-hmm. So this guy is obviously a great young coach. And Matt Rule from Baylor is going to get one of these jobs. If he doesn't get it, he's going to get interviewed for a couple of them.
Oh, yeah.
Mikey Mrs. Hairplug says that Matt Rule is going to go to the Giants.
Yeah, he will go to the Giants.
I think you're right. Because remember, the Jets had a chance. They passed up on him. And now Dave Gettleman, the Giants GM, who's much maligned. And while the people are ripping Dave Gettleman, and they said he should have been fired too, the Giants fans, instead of just firing Pat Shurmur, Dave Gettleman did some things that were smart too. It's like Howie Roseman. During the course of the year when guys started going down or guys weren't catching passes, what happened? How does Howie Roseman draft J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and overlook Terry McLaurin and D.J. Metcalf? That was right now.
Marquise Brown.
And right now, that looks like a bad decision.
Sure.
But what he did do, and you have to give him credit for this, and also Doug Peterson, is that the guys that they had on the practice squad, they had to choose and put them on the practice squad.
That's true.
So while they're their main players, while they gave Nelson Aguilar a $9.8 million 1-year deal.
So we could tip the cap to Howie for building the farm system at least.
Exactly. So while he made some what looks like mistakes, he guaranteed Alshon for 2020. So they got to pay him for next year.
They're gonna wait till at least June or July.
Yeah. And Aguilar got the $9.4 million option. Didn't have a good year. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, we mentioned that. But his career's not over. It's just like Sidney Jones. People counted Sidney Jones as a bad pick, and he had a hard time getting into the action. And everybody wrote him off. And, the guy's got talent. That's why they took him. He was hurt in college. He was one of those, guy who fell down a little bit because of injuries. And now, hopefully, maybe he becomes – look at it. Brandon Graham's a classic example of that. Mm-hmm. Brandon Graham, even though he played at Michigan, he was a low-round draft pick, and he played his ass off. He didn't start until like his second or third season.
Well, he was chosen in the first round, and he took him in the first round because he wowed him at the College Bowl. But again, Brandon Graham. Oh, yeah. I think Brandon Graham has been an overachiever, but a Pro Bowl overachiever for his entire career.
Oh, wait, I still have the price tag on this baby.
What's the price? The price is right, Tony?
Talking about
I didn't even realize it.
You want to know why? Because Tony was going to leave it on just in case they didn't make the playoffs. You got to take it back.
I love this jersey. I demanded it from Joe Krause. I don't think it has a price on it, but this has got a quality
item.
That's
a $120 item.
Quality item right here, man.
Easily. That's all
I'm not going mini pearl, though, with the hats with all the price tags on it.
Mini pearl.
You got to be old school. That's somebody, obviously one of our older listeners.
Mini pearl.
As Clarky Bob says, why does Tony still have the tag on his jersey? Who does he think he is, Mini Pearl?
See,
For
no,
those
what's
of you
weird
who
is
don't
I
know
thought
the old
that
country
was.
days.
I thought that you had washed that already.
No, I didn't wash this.
Okay, because it was hanging.
I mean, if I would rub against Carson Wentz's naked skin in the locker room, I would never wash it.
But that picture of him looks like Sasquatch on the background. It really does.
Is
At
it
least
me?
the back
It's freaking hot.
It's hot down here, right?
Turn the damn fan off.
When you were away, Robin, I sat there next to that thing, right? It was sweat-tastic.
Yeah,
Seriously.
but it's only if it's on. Like, normally it's just supposed to be, but it is. Okay, it's
There's
not
no
just
price
me
tag.
having a hot flash.
VT Hockey 1973. He's going to return to Kohl's later today.
Cold, baby. I got some cold cash with this. This ain't from Kohl's.
No, hell
This
no.
is authentic NFL.
No, seriously,
quality,
that's on the field item right there.
I love this. I love this jersey, and I have a regular Carson Wentz. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have his children probably. I'm going to go out and shoot some ducks with him. I'm going to get one of those Christmas duck Santa Claus one. Did you see he wore that last year? Everybody has the ugly Christmas jersey.
Well, you got the assault rifle. You can go out there with that.
No, he had a shirt on that had ducks and then Santa Claus with a shotgun hunting ducks for Christmas.
America, right there.
And of course, all the woke jerk-offs
You're
out
like,
there. Oh,
how
my
dare
God,
he.
Carson Wentz. He's too religious. He hunts. He sucks.
Well,
Suck on this, bitches.
Well, he did
Let
a
me
hell of a
tell you
job.
that right now. All you Carson Wentz haters, you can kiss my white ass. Not quite as white as Carson's, and not quite the
I don't
red
know, man. That
beard.
thing's pretty opaque, brother.
Yours
Robin's
glowed
like,
in the
"Yeah."
dark.
Yeah,
Tony.
but I've been sick. Carson Wentz doesn't go out in the sun. When he goes out hunting for ducks, he's got full camo on.
Right.
This butt's never going to get. I guarantee you, he's never been nude on a beach like I have.
Well, he's a redhead, and he'll burn to a crisp.
Plus, he's got all that damn back knee and shit on his back and stuff.
But-
Back knee. Back knee.
But sunlight actually
He
helps
does
take
have
care
bad,
of that.
He's got bad
so.
pores. He really does, man.
Well, that's a redhead thing too. That's
it really,
yeah,
Robin?
yeah. Us redheads have suffered
You
long
got
time.
nice skin.
Huh?
You got nice skin.
Now, but you shouldn't have seen me when I was a teenager, and my brother even worse.
And as I said to you at the beginning of the show, about 40 minutes ago, that Jason Garrett was gone, and now it's official. The
Officially.
Cowboys have, and I said this earlier when I told you I was reading legitimate news sources, not bloggers and guys with stinking podcasts with no connections to anybody in football, that Jason Garrett was gone. And I give Jerry Jones credit for this, because last night after the loss, and we saw the shot of him in his suite. You see that when the Eagles scored and put the game away and went up on the defensive on the strip sack and fumble, where where Fletcher Cox takes it to the 1 yard line and then Boston Scott runs it in. That's when everybody knew. And Bruce Allen, as I mentioned, out 10 years with the Washington Redskins as the president. He's still going to be in the organization. They're not throwing him out on the streets, but he's not going to be in charge. That's why Ron Rivera is going to get that job. And and I mentioned Matt Rule. I said it yesterday to Adam Schefter. Matt Rule is going to get a head coaching job this year. They can lock that in. And I also said last night, watching the San Francisco-Seattle game, and people think that was me being a homer. I tweeted it. I said, color me crazy, but I think the Philadelphia Eagles can find a way to beat either the Seattle Seahawks or San Francisco 49ers here. Now, and the reason I'm saying that is not because they're not good teams.
Oh, no, I'm not
The
disagreeing.
49ers are a good team, but here's what the 49ers don't have that the Eagles have, despite all the Eagles' injuries, which are major. Jimmy Garoppolo has never played in a playoff game.
Yeah,
Everybody's talking about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has played 4 consecutive weeks as a playoff game. He had to win all 4 of the games, regardless of who they were. He had to win those 4 games with his team, or his season's over.
See, now,
Jimmy Garoppolo, none of those guys, not Matt Breida, not their great tight end, not any of those guys have been in the playoffs. So for all the Carson Wentz, he hasn't played a playoff game yet in his 4th year. Neither have a lot of these guys.
no, a lot of them haven't.
Now Seattle obviously has,
See,
and their quarterback. And oh, by the way, I got to rip the coaching staff. I think the Seattle Seahawks, just like they did in that Super Bowl, when they decided to throw the ball instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch, made another huge error last night. I mean, they had that game, and I wasn't rooting out. I picked the Niners on my locks, and I was 3-1. The one loss I had was the stinking Pittsburgh Steelers, because I thought Baltimore would lay down for them. They still blew them out by 18. So the Steelers, you suck. Get a quarterback. Get healthy. Try to keep Connor healthy. So all these other teams that use excuses for James Conner was hurt. Oh, this guy was hurt. Oh, that guy. You tell me another team in the NFL who has lost more starting players than the Philadelphia Eagles that's in the playoffs. Nobody. Nobody's even close.
Well, Pittsburgh was in the running until earlier this week. But yeah, Pittsburgh was in the running. They lost a lot of players, man.
Yes, but they did. But they didn't.
And their starting quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, going down was the big one, Tony. We didn't lose Carson Wentz. They lost Ben
Yeah,
Roethlisberger.
but the Eagles lost Carson Wentz the last 2 years. And, oh, by the way, they made the playoffs.
I understand.
The Eagles are one of 4 teams that are going back to the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive year. Only 4 of these teams that are in there. There's 12 teams in. Only 4 of them have made the playoffs 3 straight years. So everybody who wants to use Dak Prescott's shoulder was hurt, that's why he didn't beat the Eagles, or want to use, Ben Roethlisberger was out, that's why the Steelers couldn't make the playoffs. They got themselves back, and Mike Tomlin did a great job. But their backup quarterbacks weren't as good as Nick Foles when Carson Wentz got hurt.
So, Tony, Mike Leslie, who is he's a sports anchor for WFAA in Dallas.
Yes. Yeah, he's saying the entire coaching staff has been cleaned out.
About 17 minutes ago, he tweeted out, "I'm told the entire Cowboys coaching staff has been fired." And then a few minutes later, he tweeted out, "We're told that a member of the staff texted a person close to him and said, 'We're fired.' The response was, 'All of you?' And the response was, 'Yes.' But then he tweeted out again saying that a member inside the Cowboys organization said that this is not the case yet. It may be the case soon, but it has not officially
All right, and so that, again,
transpired."
listen, Mike Leslie's a good reporter. He's a local guy, and he's trying to jump the gun because everybody knew Carson. And that's why I said Jerry Jones last night was being grilled question after question. You're going to get rid of Jason. Jason Garrett got out there really positive, you see post-game, acting as if this was a major accomplishment to go out there. What a great way to end the season. You know, he just got, he had to say, he had to put a positive spin on it. You know, he's like, hey, I'm proud of the guys. You know, the typical stuff. He was upbeat. He wasn't downtrodden. They dropped 48 on Washington. So I'm not saying he should be downtrodden that he lost, but he also knew, and Jerry Jones, to his credit, he answers all the questions, but he wasn't going to make a decision last night. And to be fair, that's the way you do it. You know, the Browns, they immediately, as soon as their game ended against Cincinnati, they fired Freddie Kitchens.
Yep.
He was the first guy gone. Pat Shurmur went this morning. And now you got Jerry Jones firing Jason Garrett, and I'm sure in the entire coaching staff. Now, whoever they bring in, will get to put their own coaching staff together. And it depends on how fast Jerry hires a new head coach. But Jason Garrett, to the surprise of really no one, and I like Jason Garrett. I've known him a long time. I've been at dinners with him. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And he's not a horrible coach. And you got to give Jerry Jones credit. Now, Cowboy fans have been mad at this. They think he should have been fired years ago. But the bottom line is, Jerry Jones was very patient with Jason Garrett. And for a guy who's not patient, remember, he got impatient very quickly with Jimmy Johnson when they were drunk in a bar, and that ended their relationship. And then Barry Switzer came in and won another Super Bowl with all of Jimmy's team, all of his players,
I think
all of
that
his
was.
draft
Do you
picks.
think that had anything to do with Jerry Jones saying, "Listen, I don't need you. Listen, we don't need you to win this thing. We can do this with anybody." And that's why they brought Barry Switzer. You think it was
no
more
doubt.
like,
That was called Jerry the owner, telling Jimmy the coach, who he hired at the right time. Remember, Jimmy had just come out of the University of Miami national champ. He knew every stud player in college football. So Jimmy Johnson was perfectly qualified to be the Cowboy coach, even though he hadn't coached in the NFL, because he knew who the great player. He knew where Emmitt Smith was. He coached against those guys. He knew the playmaker. He was coaching him.
Tony.
He knew the best players in football. And so that's why he got successful when he amassed all those draft picks. When Jerry was making all the decisions to get rid of guys and trade Herschel Walker and get all the draft picks and whatever, he got the guys that he needed to build the franchise around. Aikman, Emmitt Smith. You look at the offensive line. That was a perfectly constructed football team.
Yes,
and that's why they were a dynasty for a whole bunch of years in Dallas. But after Barry Switzer came in, won one more, they haven't been able to do it because Jerry was firing guys left and right. He was bringing in, the Dave Campos of the world and those guys. Nice coordinators, nice guys. And then he finally settled on Jason Garrett and gave him 9.5 years. And the interesting thing about it, while the Cowboys are America's team, do you know they only made the playoffs 3 times out of the 9.5 years that Jason Garrett's been there?
So 30% of the time they were there.
Yeah, and you're the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's a lot of rope. I mean, he got a lot of slack for different reasons. But the bottom line is very few coaches in high-profile jobs, and there's no higher-profile job than the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. Nobody.
None.
Even the Patriots are not under any pressure because as long as they have Belichick, and Tom Brady for the last dozen years.
But exactly. But even before then, who the hell are the Patriots? The Cowboys have been the Cowboys since the freaking 60s. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's my point. And so when Brady's done and retires, Belichick retires, they're going to have to reboot that thing, and it's not going to be let's pick up where we left off.
No,
for the most part.
No.
You don't replace dynasties like that and continue to pick up. The only thing is Tom Landry was the coach of a great Dallas dynasty, and when they got rid of him, and a lot of people were angry the way Jerry got rid of him, they brought in a guy who kept it going. You know what I mean? The franchise didn't crash and burn. Now, it did the first year because they had to bring it in. They went 1-11, and then the Eagles, of course, had sacked Troy Aikman 11 times.
Then they had one of the greatest drafts in the history of drafts.
Exactly. So you have to build it. And so the bottom line is, Chan Gailey, I mentioned, Jimmy Johnson.
Did Jason Garrett applaud when Jerry gave him his pink slip?
Well, when he saw the check, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here's your lovely egg. Hey, come on down,
Take some
coaching
party
staff.
gifts.
Here's some lovely. I'm gonna write. You get a check, and you get a check. Listen, I don't celebrate anybody being fired.
No, of course not.
This
But
is
these
part
guys
of
are
the
getting
job.
millions of dollars, though, man.
This is part of the job. When you get hired as an NFL head coach, no matter who you are, no matter how great you are, maybe Bill Belichick will be the only guy that doesn't get fired. He'll go all out on his own terms.
What's the saying, Tony? We get hired to be fired. That's
exactly
it.
Right.
He might. Yeah, you're right. He may be the only one who gets to go out on his own and just say, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah, Jerry's not going to trash Jason Garrett.
No, he'll go out there. He'll do the right thing. He'll put the right hat on because again, you don't want to have all this dirty laundry being put out on air and have him bad mouthing his old coach when he's trying to hire a whole new regime. Because I think they fired. I think if what I'm seeing is correct, it was a total house cleaning.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. And most of the time, when you fire
allegedly right now, because Robin reported that it's not really
Right,
set in stone yet.
When you fire the
it
head
might be
coach,
set in stone, but it hasn't been officially.
let me
reported.
explain. When you fire the head coach,
Let me explain.
the assumption is the new head coach is going to pick his own staff. And so for the most part, unless Jerry Jones decides he wants to keep one guy here or one guy there because he's the owner and the general manager. So for the most part, the entire staff gets let go. Now, whether he's done it or not, and it depends. Jerry's going to make the decisions. The new head coach, by the way, is going to come in and he's going to have I'd like to have this guy as my offensive coordinator, or I want to call the plays. So that's to be determined. But it's not shocking that the entire coaching staff is fired. Remember, when Doug Peterson got the job, he kept some of Chip Kelly's guys around. Not all of them, but he kept some guys. And so you do that. I'm sure they'll keep some guys around. And if Jerry's fired everybody, I'd really, really be shocked. That means he doesn't have confidence in anybody, including Kellen Moore, right? Cliff Richard or Cliff Richard.
Richard.
I know. I like Cliff.
No, I'm learning French, so let's go.
You know who Cliff Richard is, right? You know who Cliff Richard is, Robin?
Who is that guy?
Now,
he a
once
singer?
again, yes.
Cliff Richard.
See, that's bad knowledge, Robin.
I know he's a singer. I can almost.
He had a bunch of hits.
What song did he sing?
He had a bunch of hits.
I can almost hear it.
Here's one of his biggest hits. Let's go back to the music now. Let's
hear
crank
it.
it up.
Let's see if I know this.
No, you don't
Oh,
have it
that's
on
right.
the Crocs.
Well, I didn't touch anything, Robin. Hang on. Let me put it down here now, so to speak. You know this song.
Yes, I do.
I don't.
Da, da, da.
As Jerry Jones and
love
Jason
me
Garrett
anymore.
said, no. We don't talk anymore,
That's
baby.
right.
Yeah, man, come on, Cliff. Cliff Richard, baby, not Richard.
Kay Collins checking in 21. We don't talk anymore. He knew it.
Exactly.
Hold on, I got to hear the hook. When the hook comes in. Tony, you got the drums out?
Oh, yeah.
We got him a 5-year-old's desk drum set.
A little hi-hat. Let me get a little hi-hat.
I love Cliff Richards. He has a lot of great songs.
Cliff Richard, not Richard, and not Richards. The lonely one. None comes to letting me go.
Time Life presents Sounds of the 70s. Richard XPAT. When's the hook coming?
Right here. It's so funny. How we don't talk anymore, bitch.
I got to get out of here. I think I'm going to lose it. I don't have my soundboard. I'm just going to say my drops.
I even prepped the desk so that you could have your soundboard if you wanted it. Did you see that? How considerate am I?
Yeah, but I forgot it.
Oh, you hear that cymbal?
That's the hi-hat, man.
No, that's a cymbal.
Tony with his tongue sticking out. Play Action Reel said, this song has a certain je ne sais quoi. That was for you, Luigi.
Thank you.
Learning French.
Yeah.
He had a couple other hits.
Un homme et un chat.
That's great Cliff Richard knowledge. on the
Parlez-vous
show.
un peu français?
I
Un
guarantee
homme et
you,
un chat.
there's no.
A boy
man and a cat.
And a cat.
That's
Very
all I know.
good.
Un
Very
homme et un
good.
chat.
There's only one thing you have to learn first and foremost in French.
Right.
It's voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Avec.
Avec moi.
Ménage à trois.
No, well that
Well,
comes
that one's a good
later.
one, too.
That comes later. That's
Oui.
basically
Oui.
Chicks at the same time.
Exactly.
No,
Comes
here.
later.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi
moi.
et une autre
exactly
ce
and
soir?
another exactly.
And another. So me and another would be et un autre.
Et un chien.
Oh, no, I don't.
No
I don't
dogs
think
allowed,
no
man.
dogs allowed in that situation.
I'm learning quick. Uno mange un orange.
I say,
Uno mange un orange.
okay. I want to.
Man eating an orange. I'm learning slowly. I'm learning from.
Why are you learning
What
French?
where are you learning this from?
I'm learning it
Are you
on
going on
Duolingo. Yeah.
Duolingo is great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm learning.
Duolingo.
Duolingo.
The French kiss is the
That's-
first thing you learn on that one.
Well, I'm a master at that.
Je
brother.
suis très impresse.
Okay.
You know, I was actually pretty
Je
fluent.
suis très
You know, Robin.
impresse.
Juice, sweet Tim. You're impressed?
I'm very impressed.
Oh, there we
yeah.
go. Nice.
Very
I'm,
good.
I'm on
wow.
basics 2 right now. That's where
Good
I'm at.
job.
You know, I learned a lot of French, Robin, when I had a French girlfriend.
I
for a couple
know.
years.
You
I
were
went to
quite-
Paris with her twice.
Oh, good for you.
I'm ordering off the menu in French restaurants.
Yeah, but they're bringing you all the wrong stuff.
No, I'm not. And, of course, the most important thing you must say when you're in a French restaurant at the end of the meal. You know what that is, Robin? Let's see if you know.
Fangool.
No, not about fun. That's what you say in an Italian restaurant when the brajons
when
burn.
when they bring the check. Mama Fangool.
I'm sorry. What is it?
I can even do my own live rib shot.
No, actually, it's... No, here's what you say when they bring the check. Mama Fangool. Mink. or my dad's favorite. Madusi Malad. Oh, speaking of Italian, Tony, before I got here, in the fridge right now,
What do you got?
because you know we're gonna have New Year's Eve dinner.
Prime
I
rib,
went
baby.
I went and picked up the lamb lollipops.
Lamb lollipops?
So lamb lollipops, I'm ready to marinate for overnight.
Are they bad or good,
they're
baby?
bad.
We need to.
We got a phone call?
Yeah, we have a phone call, but I also want to ask: is it okay if we change it to New Year's Day rather than New Year's Eve?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk. We'll discuss after.
Why? What happened?
It's so funny. We don't talk anymore.
We don't. What happened on New
Gosh,
Year's Eve?
the people with face masks are going crazy
What
right
happened
now.
on New Year's Eve?
We'll talk. It's just
I don't know. Again, I'm the last person to know anything.
Okay.
I'm the last person to find out anything involving my own life. And that's bullshit.
Now we have a phone call, Tony Bruno, for the first time in quite some time.
Whatever.
Let's go to the phones. 215-462. Tony.
215-462-8669.
Exactly right. Who's on the line? Hello.
What up, Tony? What up, Miss Robin? What up, Luigi? This is Bearcat AJ in Cincinnati.
What up, yo? How about your Cincinnati Bengals? No quitting them. They're the guy. They're responsible for getting, of course, the great Freddie Kitchens fired.
Exactly. Well, I'm no longer a Bengals fan. I became a Seattle Seahawks fan. I almost became an Eagle fan. I was down to those two fan bases, so I can't wait on Sunday for that.
So you're going to be
game.
rooting against the Philadelphia Eagles, against the dastardly bad coach.
AJ, I have to say I'm disappointed. If you were going to jump ship and you had two to choose from, the Eagles and
The Seahawks?
and you went with Seahawks after being a fan of Tony Bruno's for who knows how long, and you went with the
Generations.
Seahawks?
But here's my explanation why
I would love to hear this. Go ahead.
Seahawks because of Russell Wilson. Because Russell
I love
Wilson
Russell Wilson.
I love Russ.
was born in my. Not too many people know this. Russell Wilson was born in my hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio. Even though he only lived here for like his only 1 year, because most people associate Russell Wilson with Richmond, Virginia, but he was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he wears my favorite number 3. But hey, I still
Wait a minute.
respect
My
the Eagles because-
oldest son, A.J. Bruno, an expecting father, was born in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, and by the way,
And so do I call him, do I go out hunting with him?
No, but when the
Tony-
baby's born, he's going to yell, "Roll Tide."
Tony, AJ, this is there. I have a very good reason as to why this is not sound thinking on your part, because Russell Wilson could go to a different team.
He could have been a
then-
Philadelphia Eagle
Right, and
if
then-
the
and
stinking
then does that
Seahawks
mean-
didn't jump ahead of him and the Eagles settled for Nick Foles. Remember that
And
year.
does that
AJ's getting
mean-
destroyed right now. Impeach him.
Let me
Impeach-
finish my damn segment.
Sorry.
Does that
it
mean
a
that
segment or something?
segment? I can't speak. Sentence. Does this mean that you're going to then jump ship again if he
Nope,
goes to a different team?
Nope, this is my last and final team I'm, sticking with because
What if he comes to the Eagles?
He's not coming to the
I'll
Eagles.
just
still
putting a
root
what
for him,
if.
but I'll still be rooting for for the Seahawks, because at least I believe in their ownership. At least they don't meddle or they're not cheap, unlike my Cincinnati Bengals, where I felt like they were always stuck on Groundhog's Day. Look at all the past players. Once they left the Bengals and went to play for another team, they like the ownership. And this past year, you've had Carson Palmer ripping Mike Brown. You had Melissa Whitworth, the wife of Andrew Whitworth, saying they were disrespected. So
there's no doubt the two Ohio NFL franchises both have a lot of bad baggage, starting from the ownership group all the way down, unfortunately. That's the sad reality there. Who's had more wasted number one draft picks than the Cleveland Browns at the quarterback position? Now, again, I'm not giving up on Baker Mayfield, although I wish they would stop running the Progressive Insurance ones where he's getting the stadium ready for the next day.
I'm expecting like 68,000 people.
Yeah, you're expecting nothing now. You're expecting a new coach. I'm not going to blame the guy because everybody does commercials when they're famous. But, there's ones that you stop running at a certain point. I believe the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, Progressive Insurance, cleaning up and fixing the stadium ones have jumped the shark at this point. Time to move on.
I think all the Cleveland Brown love has jumped the shark, just like that damn team has jumped the shark. It was real cute for about a week when they first started the season, and they found out the wheels fell off very, very, very quickly.
Exactly. But, AJ, I hear you, man, but I said it last night on Twitter, and I got ripped all over the place, that I think the Eagles, when they played the Seahawks here a few weeks ago, they turned the ball over, and they lost the game. Because Russell Wilson, and when you look at the Seahawks and you watch them last night, they still had a chance to win that game, even though they couldn't stop the 49ers. They couldn't stop Debo. They couldn't stop the fullback from going downfield and scoring a touchdown. So to me, Russell Wilson, as much as we give Carson Wentz heat, but we give him credit because he found guys that actually caught the ball who were practice squad. Do you realize that all 34 points scored by the Philadelphia Eagles last night were scored by practice squad players? All the points came because the practice squad players scored. Even Jake Elliott was a practice squad guy. Every single point was the result of guys who were on the practice squad.
Which sounds like, to me, management's pretty darn good.
Management did a good job of bringing in guys to sit there. And by the way, the Seahawks have Russell Wilson basically carries that team from all of its other weaknesses. Their offensive line is not very good.
Not at all.
He only got sacked once. He got smashed a lot in that game. He got hit 9 times violently, and he still bounces up and goes out there and does it again. And you saw late in the game, there were throws in the end zone. He had guys open, under pressure. I mean, they had 5 shots from the 6-yard line to score, and they threw it every single time. And then the one bad coaching decision that Pete Carroll made, they get to the 1-yard line, remember? It looked like it was going to be a touchdown. Ball's down at the 1, and then Russell Wilson comes up and spikes the ball to stop the clock. Remember, they're in the last 30 seconds of the game. So instead of calling a time, they bring out beast mode at the 1-yard line. Which was the brilliant thing to do, making up for the dumb mistake in the Super Bowl when they threw it on down there. So what do? They bring him out from the 1-yard line, knowing that he's going to jump over the top and win the game, and they allow a delay a game penalty. How do you not call a timeout when you know you're at the 1-yard line and you're first and goal and you got beast mode there?
Because he's Pete Carroll.
I think Seattle was out of timeout.
No, they weren't out of time. No, they were not.
Or they had one.
They had one. Remember, they had 3 timeouts left, which is good because, a lot of times the Seahawks don't. They got the ball. I wrote this all down. They got the ball back with 3 minutes and 36 seconds left, and they didn't get the ball back. There was 3 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock.
Okay.
They're down 5 points, so they know they need a touchdown to take the lead and win the game. They're working the clock perfectly because they let it run down, and people wondering if they're going to score, is San Francisco going to have enough time and get the field goal that they would need to come back and win the game? So what happens? Russell Wilson, I mentioned, 9 hits. Pass protection was not good. They don't have their left tackle, and he still finds ways to move around and make plays. He's unbelievable that way. They had 3 timeouts, down 5, with 3:36 to go. They got to the 1-yard line. They spiked the ball. Beast mode comes in, and they get a delay of game penalty at the 1 and now have to move back to the 6. Still first down, first and goal, but they have to take beast mode out because now
Right.
they have to throw the ball from the 6-yard line with no timeouts left. And Russell Wilson made a couple of hurry throws. He had guys open in the end zone and couldn't hit them. So all quarterbacks make mistakes, and all guys drop balls, and all guys don't get the ball thrown right to them. But to me, that was a Pete Carroll decision last night. You cannot not score from the 1-yard line when you got the ball, and even though Russell Wilson came up and did the right thing by spiking the ball, it stops the clock.
Right.
How do you not have the next play ready and guys out there?
Yeah, you can't have a delay of game.
How do you bring beast mode out at the 1-yard line and then stand around and lollygag and let the clock run, clock run out?
Everyone knows where it's
on
going. It's going to get handed off to him. There is no excuse for having the play clock run out on you down at the 1-yard line, especially coming out of a timeout.
No, I know you're saying that they did run out of timeouts, but they did spike the ball. The spiking the ball is basically a 30-second timeout.
Right.
And you bring out beast mode, and he's right there on the field, and you don't get a playoff from the 1-yard line?
You have to. It's inexcusable.
That was a killer right
get some
there.
water.
Yeah, that's a
You got water?
killer.
Get some water?
Get some water, please.
So
I need water. I need some water.
I would not
You
be
can root
shocked
for,
if,
I always bust your chop. You can root for whoever you want to, man. I get.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
I'm very disappointed, AJ. If you're going to jump ship.
I'm still a fan of Jason Kelsey because he went to my alumni, University of Cincinnati. I was rooted for the Eagles because of the players that went to my alumni, like Trent Cole,
Brent Selleck.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
See all the people that you have on there.
How many University of Cincinnati players are on the Seattle Seahawks?
None, but hey, Russell Wilson was born in my city, so I always rooted for him. I liked him when he was in both NC State and Wisconsin, and I even told my friend who was from Washington State, I said, if Russell wins the starting quarterback job in 2012, they're going to playoffs that year, and I was right. And then all of a sudden, granted, it was their defense that helped them win the first Super, but still, Russell is still. When he needed to make the plays, he made the plays, and Marshawn Lynch was a big part of that Super Bowl run when they won in 2013.
I'm giving you a hard time.
No, I hear you, man. It's gonna. I said yesterday that I think the Eagles can beat Seattle here, and people thought I was crazy. You see what the line is? It opened Eagles 1-point favorites, and then immediately the money started coming in on Seattle.
And
so
switched.
Seattle's a 1.5-point favorite. What does that tell you? That tells you that even Vegas and the gambling public knows the Eagles have a shot to win this game at home. It's that simple. It doesn't matter whether you're 9-7. It's 0-0. I know everybody's going to hear this. Both teams are coming in with a fresh slate. It doesn't matter what happens.
Nickel winner. They might have to lay it on the Eagles.
Tony, we have another phone call, by the way. So.
All right, AJ. Let me.
Thanks
for checking in, man. Hey,
Later,
listen.
AJ. Happy New Year to you, buddy.
You can root for anybody you want. Don't tell people who to root for.
You know what though, Tony?
But AJ in Cincinnati is mad at me, though. I mean, AJ in San Antonio.
What's he mad at you for?
Mad at me because the Eagles, when the Eagles beat the Cowboys, I wasn't going crazy. I had to run naked when the Eagles beat the Cowboys.
You see what you got to do.
But he's mad, and like our buddy Street Bright, all these Cowboy fans get mad at me. I didn't denounce the Cowboys. You guys are denouncing your own team. All I did last week was saying all the people that were making excuses for Dak Prescott because his shoulder was hurt. Yeah, he was hurt. But everybody's hurt at this time of the year.
Right.
But he still had his weapons. He still had his running back.
Still had Michael Gallup. He still had Zeke Elliott. He still had Amari Cooper.
Exactly. Yep. And then Amari Cooper said this week that the fact that he wasn't on the field was because of the scheme, and he disagreed with the scheme.
No.
And so that's coaches not being on the same wavelength, just like Zeke on the sideline deciding that he didn't want to go in. He wanted to give himself a blow in an important situation where Pollard then fumbles the ball when he goes in, gets stripped by a smarter defensive lineman like Fletcher Cox. You're seeing Brandon Graham. As bad as the Eagles are hurt, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox,
and Timmy Jernigan.
Malcolm Jenkins.
Yep.
All three of those veteran guys. Even Jernigan made some plays. But I'm talking about the three core guys that have been here the longest. Guys with Super Bowl rings and guys who crank it
that
up.
defense. I told you. It has nothing to do with the offense. The defense going to have to win this game, and the defense won that game. That was a defensive win.
By the way,
shut down the
Fister
Giants.
Ball on Twitch chat room is saying, AJ, you are right and Tony is wrong.
So wait. So when Beast Mode comes out
That's
onto
Mickey.
the field, when he comes out to line up at the 1-yard line, They had just spiked the ball. He was out there instantly. And then they somehow can't get a playoff, regardless of whether they don't have a timeout or not. Obviously, they didn't because that's why he spiked the ball.
Right. Tony, this is yours, by the way.
So the point is, how do you not get a playoff in 24 seconds after you have the guy that you want out there and then get a delay of game putting you back at the 6-yard line?
That's the point.
That's the bottom line.
You don't have to worry about personnel change. You don't have to worry about scheme. Everything is on the field as it is. All you have to do is walk up and snap the ball, and you can't get the playoff coming out of that time, that stoppage. All right, we don't have to say timeout. You spike the ball. Out of the stoppage, like you said, it's a 30-second timeout.
Get the damn playoff, and you win the game. All right, Robert, relax. I know there's somebody on the line.
I think I know who it is. I hear breathing.
I hate to do Gary Radnich on you. This is what Gary Radnich was due to his producer, Mike. Mike, remember Mike Holler? When Mike Holler would point to Gary Radnich on KNBR in San Francisco, and she would give him signs, and he would scream, I know what we got to do next. I pulled a Gary Radnich right there.
Well, Robin's about to pull a gat on your ass. Because that was a little unnecessary, man. Jeez.
I understand how this works, Robin.
Calm down. Have a glass of water or something, man.
Yeah,
you want some water?
Hey, you don't have
Take it easy. You get a heart attack. Right?
Yeah, where do you have your
it would be
machine?
one thing if I was constantly bugging you about it, but I just let you.
I hear people breathing on the phone.
Well, I didn't know because you were on a rant. I didn't know if you were able to hear it.
Why
over
can't
your
you
own
let the rant
self-talking.
finish? When you ran it, I let you finish.
By the way,
Luigi doesn't let you finish.
I didn't interrupt
I let
you.
everybody finish, all right?
That's
Even
the thing.
Like when I watch porn, I wait till the guy's done too, all right? Seriously. I let everybody finish.
I did
well,
not
because
interrupt.
the woman's never finished. Woman just fakes it.
But even when I'm done, I let him finish too, all right? I'm a gentleman. Jesus
And I
Christ.
just want to note, Tony, you interrupted yourself.
I know I did.
By the way, if anybody's wondering, this is what life is like outside of radio. This is how we get down.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
This is not just a radio shtick.
No.
This is real life.
We yell at each other in real life.
This isn't fantasy where FanDuel's giving you bad information an hour before kickoff.
No.
This is reality.
This is Tony yelling at Robin yelling back at Tony. Then they hug and kiss and make up. Then I come in there, they yell at me, I yell back at them, and this is how it works.
Exactly.
Oh, I just
Pissed
understand.
off.
I was just trying to figure out
Well, who's
why
on the line right
S
now?
Falcons 39 was highlighted in the chat room all the time, and he paid. So apparently you can pay bits so that your message is highlighted.
Oh,
and
wow, I
easier
did
to
not
see.
know that.
I like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Priority.
Pay to play. It's like Luigi almost did last
Basically,
yeah, right, the other day.
She said, do you want, you gave me the jerk off symbol. I was like, I'm a cop. She said, cookies?
How is that cookies? Like
No, because she went like this. She was going like this. Right, Robin?
Uh-huh.
And I said, I'm a cop. She went, cookies. Like she threw her hand up in the air like, cookies.
Alrighty
I said,
then.
no, I don't want no goddamn cookies.
By the way, yes, it is Trevor in the 203.
What up, Tony? What up, Luigi? What up, Miss Robin?
What up?
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry New Year.
Happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy playoffs.
And apparently happy endings.
Yeah.
Well, almost.
Almost.
That is the greatest thing ever, Luigi. I'm a cop.
Robert
I'm a
Kraft.
cop.
Robert Kraft would be proud of you.
Robert Kraft give me one of those instead. What are you talking about? You get back in there and you finish, young man.
Right now.
Did they have cameras? Did you look around?
What's that?
Did you look around to see if there were any cameras in this
Hell
place?
no, there are no cameras. Cleanest shower I've ever seen in my entire life, though. Very
I would
nice.
hope so.
Meanwhile,
now, did you drive down to the Meadowlands from Connecticut?
he did.
Yes, I did. That Life Stadium took over by me and my buddies, and I found a lot. Was there, got down there at 1:30. My buddy took the train up, and we just had a grand old time. A bunch of Eagle fans, and we took over a parking lot, and we were at lower level seats. We had a grand old time.
Yeah, and everybody was wet. It looked like everybody was behaving. I didn't see the gratuitous, one shot of one moron fighting another moron that you see every week in stadiums now.
No, we had enough of that around the city.
Yeah.
We had two morons trying to fight me and my buddy Robin. Like, some people with us, like, you don't want these two guys at all. They really don't want that action right
Did the
now.
Giant fans get salty when the Eagles broke the 17-17 tie and started laying the beat down, and the defense started getting to Danny Dimes repeatedly, regularly?
That's when all the Giants fans started leaving. We did do the na ha ha hey goodbye to them. It was great to say that. And we all started moving down to lower levels, and the security guys were not too happy about that at all as well.
But I got to give, when we were in Washington a couple weeks ago, we didn't see any pushing and shoving. Redskin fans, they knew their season was over, and they played a good game, and they had a chance to win it, and the Eagles come back and get the win and the cover on the last play.
I'll tell you what, though, man.
Yes.
It wasn't for not trying. Your son, AJ, man, he is a trash talker extraordinaire.
Yeah, but he was talking to a couple of housewives in front of him.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that was all right.
No housewives. A+. A+.
Oh, you talking about the one with the dyed hair, too?
Yeah, they were nice people.
Yes.
There were women, but they,
great
during the game, AJ was yelling, but he wasn't yelling profanity. He
She
wasn't.
looked like Rod Stewart.
Yeah, she was cute.
She was. She looked like
I would have
Rod
done
Stewart.
her. I would have done her by
You
the
didn't
end
done
of the
anything by that time. You had 2 Coronas in
I
you.
was a friend who's
And
an Eagle
stateside
fan,
vodka.
Oh, shit.
But I
But
was
that
there.
vodka
That
was
Redskin game was so much fun. Sitting next to you and Luigi and your son AJ, Tony. That
People
was
usually
a
have to
blast.
pay to sit next to me at sporting events, whether it's on my couch.
Well, it was a Redskins game. Nobody had to pay to get in there.
Well,
Tony.
that's true. Yeah.
Where's your little?
For real, that made
I
my
need more
highlight
room
of
for
the
my
year,
drum
getting to
here.
Watch a sports game with you.
Tony, you do
For real,
not.
What is this?
That is your Christmas present.
Oh, okay. So when we get off the phone with AJ, with Trevor, I'm going to open this up.
We're going to have a What's in the Box segment.
Nice.
And it's
This is a
6
very
o'clock.
I'm
nice
about
bag.
to give a
brother.
what's in a box to my 2 coworkers who are Cowboy fans. A box that's wrapped up with absolutely nothing in it because they're both Cowboy fans.
That's a good job out of you.
How
brother.
about that?
I don't get
Absolutely.
why
I know-
people are blaming Eagle fans for the Cowboys' failures, or Cowboy fans are blaming Eagle fans for the Eagles' failures. The bottom line is this was a crappy division. The Eagles, but remember, at the beginning of the year, the Eagles were a team that was supposed to be contending for this division. It wasn't like everybody
Absolutely.
picked the Cowboys. The Eagles had all the offensive weapons. Carson Wentz was healthy again. They brought in Deshaun Jackson. He goes deep in his first game, and then he gets hurt. And so the Eagles were supposed to be a playoff team at
Yes,
the
they
beginning.
were.
And so were the Cowboys. And technically, they both could have been playoff teams if they both didn't have crappy seasons and go into
What was the
funks.
talk? The talk was who was going to get who was going to win the division and who was going to be the wild card team that comes out of the division. That was the talk.
And then you had the West with 3 good teams in it. You had the NFC North with 2 good teams in it making the playoffs, and the Vikings
The
and
Bears
the
were
Packers.
supposed to be great. They spit the bit.
Yeah, the Rams didn't make the playoffs. And so, as easy as it looks, to get into the playoffs 3 straight years when your starting quarterback missed a good portion of 2 of them, and he really didn't miss a good portion. Remember, he only missed the last 4 games of 2017 because he got hurt in that Rams game, which was like 14 weeks. No, they were 13-2 when he got hurt. Right? So it's not like everybody thinks that if Carson Wentz stayed healthy, he wouldn't have been able to finish the job. Remember, and you know who did this? And he had a great tweet last night from ESPN, former Temple player and one of the ESPN anchors. I can't think of his name now, and it's bothering me because I actually tweeted back to him. He said, in 2017, the Eagles had Nick Foles and all the starters and win the Super Bowl. 2019, the Eagles have Carson Wentz and none of the starters, and now we'll see what happens. They win the NFC East. And that's exactly what happened. Carson Wentz, Nick Foles didn't have a bunch of practice squad players out there winning the Super Bowl. He had the main weapons.
I love the fact that, again, I love the fact that teams like Tennessee are in it this year.
Yeah, because Derrick Henry is a monster.
It's not duh. It's not just that. It's the fact that there's now there's just it's a little bit of a change. You know what I mean? There's just different teams. The Rams are out, Tennessee's in, kind of a thing. New England's got to fight for their right to continue on because they don't have the first round bye like they always do. So they got to play a tough Tennessee.
Since 2009.
Yeah, exactly, man. The Buffalo Bills are in the damn playoffs, which is fantastic. I love that. San Fran's back.
Exactly.
It's great. This is great.
You got
Diversity's
the
great.
classic powerhouse teams of who are the first 2 seeds of the Packers and Niners. You get the West Coast crowd, and you get those late games meaning something usually. We have 2 West Coast teams on in the playoffs for the NFC side, not the AFC. But hey, it's gonna be a great playoff season.
It is
going to
be a great
fun
playoff
to
season.
watch. I'm going to the game Sunday already, so I got in.
Oh, beautiful!
So.
You got tickets?
I'm going. Yeah, I got tickets. I am amazed I got in.
That's what she said.
Well, that's what she said too.
As Falcon39 says, Luigi, where's the dog? Let me tell you something about my dog. My dog is fell in love with my trash can. So, Robin, I went on that little my little camera that you told me to buy, my penny cam.
Yeah.
And I watched her going into the trash can, so I turned the mic button on. And I was like, Penny, no! And she was like, and she stopped. And she turned around. She got this weird look on her face. She's like, Penny, you're in big, big trouble. And she's just like looking around, like, where's the noise coming from? And just darted into the bedroom.
Good. No, I told you, if she has golden retriever in her, she is a trash dog. Like, they are dumpster divers.
I know. I got to put that.
They
I got
are
to put the
horrible.
trash can in the bathroom.
They eat anything.
Cats do it too.
Leave.
Our cats knock over little waste baskets if there's like a cookie wrapper or something
but
in
they
there.
don't go in it, and they don't.
Oh, they don't trash.
She
the whole
does
thing.
it out of spite. She's mad that I'm leaving.
Oh no.
And then she's also kind of mad because she's on a diet now.
Yeah,
she's a little pissed off.
They will look, and they eat stuff that they are not supposed to eat.
I don't want to raise no fat, John.
No, but the problem is that they'll eat like stuff like if there's something really
you call
good
her
in a plastic wrapper, then she'll eat the entire plastic wrapper. It gets in her gut, and it can cause all sorts of issues. Yeah, it's bad.
That's not good.
That's for Luigi. That's for Luigi, who used the word John on the show. I'm going to start in the new decade, which is coming up in 2 days, because it's New Year's Eve, December 30th. There will be certain words that will not be allowed on this show in
It's the first
2020.
time I've ever used it.
The word John will not be allowed to be uttered on this show.
I like it.
I'll cut you some slack today, although I did give you a bump to bump. But right now,
What else is new?
I am going to say it. 2020, there will be a list of banned words on this show, and John will be one of them.
Can we get George Carlin to come back from the dead and give us the banned words?
Can we get that in a tweet so everyone can retweet it so everyone knows what words are not cool to use anymore?
Yeah, we'll give the new seven words.
Oh, definitely.
John jumped the shark 10 years ago.
John was never a word with me. I don't even know where
You know
it
what I
came
don't like
from.
either? The whole stupid, no one likes us, we don't care.
I don't
if
like
no
that
one
either.
likes us, then why the fuck do you even say anything about it? Like, if you don't care.
I hate that term. I hate the we ready. I hate
yeah.
ready. I hate no one likes us, we don't care. I hate John. And I'm a Philly guy. There's nobody more Philly than me.
What it is what it is. That's got to
Yeah, but that's Charlie Manuel. I mean, come on.
That's got to
It is what it is.
No, when Charlie Manuel
What
drops
it is what it is.
I can't stand it. At the end of the day, that's Brian Westbrook's go-to. Well, at the end of the day, 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 it's the same thing getting repeated over and over and over again.
At the end of the day, it's night, and it gets darker.
Yeah,
Exactly.
At the end
It's
of the
getting light.
day,
Yes.
how about them Cowboys?
Yes, indeed.
At
Goodbye,
the end of the
Cowboys.
day, I love this wide receiver group.
So, but I agree though. Here, sorry to interrupt you, Trev, but people are complaining that you did not bring Penny over. I agree. Whenever you come to our house,
I told you yesterday to bring the damn. You said you were
should-
going to come and watch the game with us.
It should
and
just
bring
be a
the dog.
given.
I didn't want to come watch the game just in case things started going south. And then
Why?
I would have
When
It should
when
just
things
be
go
a
south,
given,
who's
Luigi.
better?
When
Who's
you
better to
come
watch
over,
a game with?
bring Penny.
Who's
Because we don't
better to
really-
watch a game with when things go south?
Yes, and we don't care. We don't really. We care more about Penny than about you.
I know.
So we need to
Exactly.
bring her. You need to bring her over.
All right, I'll bring her over. That's fine.
Jesus.
Luigi's trying to keep the good mojo going for the Eagles.
That's right. Penny and I were sitting on the couch relaxing. I'm trying to cash some checks, man. What the hell?
And okay, Boomer's got to go too in
Yeah,
2020.
Boomer's got to go. And
Yeah, that
that's,
one is a
all
good
the young,
show.
all these young guys, all these. I'll say it now. The millennials, they go out there and say, "Okay, Boomer," because they don't want to listen to anything sound logic that's being told to them by someone that's older. Remember how, respect your elders, or elderly people know a little bit more than you do because
Yes.
they've been around the block. How about this? How about "Okay, douchebag, shut your mouth"? How about that?
That's what I usually
cool with
respond.
I can't stand
by
people that say,
the way-
"Okay, Boomer."
At the
Trev.
Eagles game yesterday, I was tailgating. I had my boss call me to cover for someone at work yesterday. I had a phone call from my boss from higher up
Wow.
to go. Yeah, and I told him, do you know where I am? He did not know. It was pretty hilarious.
Beautiful, man. Ladies and gentlemen,
All
he's
right,
a
Thanks,
diehard.
Trev.
He goes everywhere. I think he even drove all the way out to Anaheim and watched the Flyers win in overtime over the Ducks last night.
Good
and got
job
back.
out of
I
him.
wish I had that. I wish I had a private jet for that.
How many miles your car got on it, Travis? Seriously.
And Trev,
162,000.
thank you so much for all the texts and everything that you sent while I was gone this last.
I got to put an APB out.
On who?
Thank you.
AJ in San Antonio. I hope
Is he
he's
really
all
that
right.
man?
And Dean, by
Oh,
the
no,
way.
Dean's like the Cowboy fans that go into hiding after their team. They won yesterday. They won. They played well. But anyway,
Bye, guys.
all right. See you, Trevor. There's Trevor in the 203.
I like that.
I'm worried about it because AJ's one of our. He's not just a Cowboy fan who I go back and forth with. There's mutual respect. I respect all the Cowboy fans who tweet on the show and are fans. I don't have a problem with it. I don't call them out. I don't get in their faces.
What's in the bag?
I let Skip Bayless and
Hold
Stephen
on,
A.
hold on.
We're gonna do a what's in the box update.
But we have to do it right.
Oh, Bob from Valley Forge. Dean is swimming with the Dolphins today, Tony.
Yeah.
Where is he? In fact, let me text old Dean.
No, the best part. Is it the mail time? Did you hit that?
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
What's in the box?
All right, now,
So
it's
it
not
wasn't
really mail.
Yeah, I know it's not really mail, but it's what's in the box.
Luigi's really
and
mail.
It's a
I mean, he
bag.
wouldn't have gotten an invitation to get what do you call it?
Handy.
A handy.
Handy.
A handy.
You want? I'm a cop.
She didn't do the.
What do we? What? Anything you want kind of
Anything
thing?
you want?
No, man. I told you it was just like
the handy was the first one.
I
And
thought
did
the
she name a
funniest-
price?
I thought she said you want $40, and I was just like
$40.
Cop.
Kidding
She
me?
was like cookies.
I wouldn't even give myself $40, and I know how to do it better than anybody.
What's in the box?
To myself, at least. I mean, who knows how to please oneself
no.
better than oneself?
I would hope that everybody knows how to masturbate really well.
You should. If not, I will be more than happy to help.
What's in the
Well,
box?
What's in the box?
And of course, our buddy
It's
Steve in
2020,
Detroit.
whatever, Robin.
He said, "Wait a minute, what's in the
So-
box? A 6-pack of White Claws."
Yeah, exactly. Why does everyone think I drink white? I drink club soda with a lime when I'm on air.
What's in the fucking box?
All right, he's opening it now.
This
Relax.
is Mary. It's nothing major, Luigi. It's just
it
that
poop
we didn't get to
darts?
see you at Christmas time, and we saw you yesterday, but it was at work. So, Merry Christmas.
Just hit me in the penis. What is this? The Nocturnal Journal, a late-night explanation of what's really on your mind.
You know, you're going through all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You oftentimes wake up
The
when
Nocturnal Journal. That's my my handle.
An air vent holder for my phone.
and look what color it is. It matches
Is
your
my car. Oh, very cool.
Because
Dankeschön.
Mama Robin is not happy about how often you drop your phone when you're driving and texting.
I'm not texting.
Uh-huh.
This is very cool. Thank you very much. The Nocturnal Journal.
That was my late night radio DJ name.
Where are you on these scales? Rigid, adaptable.
Well, yesterday he was almost rigid until
Yeah,
the woman
I
wanted to
know.
know if he wanted a handy.
It was
Well,
actually last week. I was waiting to tell the story.
You waited till today to tell the story?
Wow, I'm impressed that you were able to hold it in that long.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
I got to play another Cliff
Literally,
Richard
that's what
song.
she said.
I got to play another Cliff Richard song here.
Richard Drank PhD says, I went to school with a girl they called Handjob Ann.
Well, who didn't?
Well, I think I went to school too.
Let me get another.
You think I wanted to go
I'm
watch?
sorry.
You think I wanted to go see Titanic? Seriously, you think I really wanted to go?
If you have a girlfriend and all she's going to do is a hand job, that's pretty lame.
That's true.
Is that first base?
Well,
is that
listen,
second
with
base?
all due respect, the lady and I weren't dating. I mean,
Okay,
she was
that's
just-
true.
Is that cheating?
What? Getting a handy from
Getting
someone?
a handy? Yes.
Ooh.
It is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't Bill Clinton say oral sex wasn't cheating?
Yeah, he
Okay.
lied.
Well, we all do. Meanwhile, can you
Yeah,
bring
it's
this up again, Robin? I have another Cliff Richard song that I want to play for the kids.
He's a dick.
This is another big monster hit from Cliff Richard. Not Cliff Richard, formerly with the Dallas Cowboys.
Cool, thank you.
Here it is, formerly
Does
with
match
the
my car
Seahawks.
perfectly.
Remember this song,
I
Robin?
know. Play Action Reel says everybody knew Anne. Then later she became Anne the lesbian. Did you break it?
I saw the cat at my door. So I came into you, sweet lady, answering your mystical call.
I think I'll just slap some bass for.
Crystal ball on the table.
I need a little tambourine action here.
To the past. Same cat with them evil eyes, and I knew it was a spell she cast. She's just
the devil
woman with evil on her mind. Beware the devil woman.
She's never heard this song. You're full of shit.
Devil woman.
What? There's no way you have not heard this song.
Never heard it.
Oh my God.
Get you from behind. See, she wears a strap on.
Oh,
That's why
you
she's a
mother-
devil.
Surprise!
Oh, it is 2020.
Come on, Cliff Richard was the shit, man.
I don't know, man.
I can't believe you've never heard Devil Woman.
I'm starving. You got any snacks?
Lots of snacks upstairs.
I'm going to get a snack.
Nobody plays a better variety of Cliff Richard.
Dude.
Not Cliff Huxtable. He's still in the big house, chilling. Meanwhile, we got to play. I sent you one audio cut today. And again, yes, I have a man crush. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
It's a mutual.
It's a mutual man crush society.
It's a mutual admiration society between the two of you, for sure.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying it for years. Not because I know him, not because he knows me, not because I like him, not because he says he likes me, but because he quite simply is the best.
Uno momento, por favor.
Because he does not just NFL, not just NBA, not just Fanatics commercials on TV for the finest gear. Because he can do 2 football games at the same time.
Chicks at the same time.
No, 2 football games at the same time. This is yesterday. Now, Kevin Harlan is who I'm talking about. Kevin Harlan was in Kansas City doing the Chiefs game against the San Diego Chargers. I'm looking for a lightning bolt. And what happens? Near the end of the game, with the Chargers now comfortably up 10 points again, and the Chargers, give them credit, they were pulling out all the stops, going for it on 4th down. They were trying to find a way to stay in the game, and they did. Then it was 31-21. And then all of a sudden, on the big screen at Kansas City Stadium, at what's the name of that place there? Kauffman Stadium? Arrowhead, hello.
Crock of shit.
Not at 11th and More, Charlie's Bar, which is a big Kansas City Chiefs bar. You know where that is, right, Luigi?
Yeah, I pass it every time I'm on my way to your
11th
house.
and McKean is Charlie's Saloon.
I pass it on my way to your house all the time.
Legit Chief. That's the legit Chief bar in the city.
Yeah, you can watch the Eagles game there, but you got to watch it on a little TV in the back.
Okay,
Exactly.
I'm ready.
So Kevin Harlan's doing the Chiefs game, and then all of a sudden, he sees it on the big screen. Andy Reid sees it on the big screen, and then he does how many games at the same time?
2 games at the same time.
Not 4. Not yet. This is Kevin Harlan yesterday on CBS.
And the crowd now knows it. What a throw by Fitzpatrick. What a touchdown run by Williams on the last weekend of the regular season in the NFL. If the Chiefs win and New England loses, the Chiefs will be the 2 seed. They'll get the bye, and they'll have a home game the next weekend.
I'm getting confused. What game are you calling?
I'm calling both games.
I love it.
Here was the and the crowd.
All right, how great is that?
I'm calling both games.
Can we get the audio copy of that so I can turn it into a drop?
I'm calling both games?
Yeah, that's
Why?
A drop. That's a drop.
Is it a drop?
We got to make that into a drop.
When would that be applicable on this show?
I will always figure out a way, Tony. Don't worry. Trust me.
I love the passion in his voice. I'm calling both games.
That was great because he's calling the play-by-play of Fitzmagic making a play that gave the lead to the Miami Dolphins in New England, by the way. By the way, Patriots fans, in your house, not in their house.
How does it feel?
How does it feel? I know you're going to say all the rings, just like the Cowboy. Oh, we got all the rings here. Those rings are now relics. The Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl in so long. They had to do archaeological digs at the NFL, at the Pro Football Hall of Fame to find those rings. Do you realize that? They were digging in Plano over the weekend, trying to find the lost Dallas Cowboy rings and Super Bowl trophies.
Plano,
That's how
Texas.
long it's been. It's like ancient history.
I will say, though.
It's like ancient Chinese secret, except Luigi got some of that
right,
yesterday.
Calgon. I will say that that the city of Dallas itself, though, is fantastic.
No, I love the
I
Metroplex.
do. I love Dallas.
I love the Metroplex.
I could
Robin
live
and
there.
I were driving on icy roads in Dallas for
It
the
was
Super Bowl.
crazy.
I could live there. I just couldn't celebrate the team. I could live in Dallas.
I lived in L.A. I didn't become a Laker fan. I didn't become a Clipper fan. I didn't become a Rams fan. I sort of like the Raiders, but I liked the Raiders long before I moved
I'm
out
getting
west.
texted right now saying this show is fantastic, and that lady's good, too.
Oh.
Talking about you, Rob.
That lady.
Who wrote that? Who said that?
That lady. Hey,
That
lady.
lady.
And Santa Claus. That's
Hey,
Tony Santa
hey,
Claus.
lady.
Who is it?
You, Santa Claus. I guess somebody put one of the Santa Claus things
okay.
on top of
Oh,
your head.
yeah, the hats.
Yeah.
Well, the masks. They are masks. People love the masks on Tony Bruno. I wish
I'm
I
a
could.
mask kind of guy.
wish
I do
people-
go to a lot of those Eyes Wide Shut parties when.
Have you ever
when I
gone to the
get a chance.
Masquerade Ball over at the Mooshaloo? They have that now going on.
No, I
too.
go to Eyes Wide Shut parties with the Eagles, with the owners of the Sixers.
You know what's coming up? What big soiree is coming up, though?
The Red Bull.
Yes, we got to go.
No.
Yes.
I don't know when it is.
in
We
February.
have so much coming up.
I got a wedding. I'm glad the Eagles play on Sunday because I got a wedding on Saturday.
What wedding?
Wedding.
My cousin's daughter.
Yeah.
So it's my second cousin?
No, cousin once removed.
If your cousin has a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
because my cousin's a grown woman
I think
with
it's
a daughter.
cousin once removed.
Isn't that a group? Isn't that a fringe band that the Ruben
Yeah.
Frank and Mike
Cousin Once
Missinelli
Removed.
went to go
Yeah.
see?
Cousin
I think they were
Once
at the TLA, Cousins Once Removed.
Playing at
They
the
opened up for
playing at the truck.
they played
daughter is my.
second cousin.
I got
Okay,
invited
hold
by
on.
a listener to a wedding.
Really? Well, we did it. We did a
Ha-ha.
listen.
Your cousin's child is your first cousin once removed, but the common name to call them is niece or nephew.
No,
they
they're
would
not.
Yes. From a genealogy standpoint.
Wait a minute. We
your
have a
cousin-
genealogical
Oh,
update
yes.
here. You don't even have to pay 23andMe or Ancestry.com for this.
Or swab any part of your body.
Exactly.
So your cousin's child is your first cousin once removed. Because they're once down.
Did you know that, Luigi?
I did
It's
not know
something you learn every day.
And then
Are there cards that say, congratulations to my second cousin once removed?
Play action real. I'm my own grandpa.
Wait, what's it called again, Robin?
Okay, hold on a second. Your first cousin once removed is the child of your first cousin. Your second cousin once removed is the child. Who's your second cousin?
I think that's
I'm
the one you can
so
sleep with, right?
confused.
I got it. They have a thing on the back of their like wedding gear that says
First
so and
cousin,
so
second
3,
cousin.
1, 2, and 3 on there, a junior or 1, 2, 3. You know, like Golden Tate the third.
Again, all I want is age, sex, location on the back. That's all I want.
So basically, this song would apply to this particular wedding that we're going to.
Once bitten, twice shy, baby.
Exactly.
Of course. I know this.
Oh, I can.
This I know.
Ah, I see. You know who your second cousin is? If your first cousin once removed, Tony, are you listening?
I'm
Paying
listening.
attention?
I'm locked
Pay
in.
attention now. So, if your cousin has a child, that's your first cousin once removed. But if they have a child, that's your second cousin.
That's what I said.
Tony,
No, that you pay attention.
Tony, I just got a text message.
Pay attention.
Today's game is an absolute lock. Some say there's no such thing. That's because they've never had one. Our company has been in business for over 25 years, and because of our information, we are absolutely positive it won't lose. Simply reply winner and how much you can move on this strong play, and I will get you on this information tonight.
So Tony, look at the screen.
It's a guarantee
Look
winner.
at the screen.
Yes.
Okay. If
Oh wait, there's a chart. Here
yes,
we go.
I have a chart. So your cousin has a child, right?
Correct.
So your cousin has a child.
Right.
That child is the first cousin once removed.
Yes.
But if that child has a child, that is your second cousin.
And that's what I said. It was my second cousin.
No, you didn't. You said that the child of your cousin was your second cousin. It was only. You're still not listening to me.
It's
Can
the
you?
child of my cousin.
But that is your first cousin once removed. If that person had a child, then that child would be your second cousin. Pay attention.
Do you understand the words coming out of my
God.
mouth?
He says
Robin,
he's
this
paying
is easy.
attention.
You broke it
I
down
am
pretty
paying
simple.
attention. My cousin is my Aunt Lucy's daughter.
Yes.
Right? Anne
Yes.
Marie.
Right.
She had a child. So
Yes.
Anne Marie is my first cousin.
Yes.
So her daughter is getting married.
Yes.
That means she's my second cousin.
No. See, he was not paying attention. She's Louise. Pay
So
attention.
then you have to get the wedding card. Is there a wedding section that says first cousin twice
no.
removed?
No.
Italians give
I
cash.
have the freaking chart up there.
I can't
for
see that
you.
damn chart. Where is this? A doctor?
listen, look at me.
Optometrist office?
Good Lord. How many people?
I hate those kind of charts. I only do those in murder mysteries when they put
Right.
the string and it goes to the other one, and then there's a string and a pin.
The whole DNA thing, yeah.
Anne Marie's child
Right.
that we are going to the wedding for is your first cousin once removed, not your second cousin. But once they are married to the wedding that we go to and they have children, those children will be your second cousin. Did you get
Yeah, I
that
don't care.
now?
I'm not going to be around for that
So
one.
Bob from Valley Forge. Bob from
I
Valley
know.
Forge. So on the flip, well, where's it at? So on the flip, when the towel is once removed, are you related to the woman who wants to give you a handy?
It's true. It's true. Tony just wants to bang on his drum all day, Ramrock. That's absolutely true. This is a bad one.
This is the one gift that I asked for at the Five Below store.
Nice.
So Robin and I are in Five Below last week because her daughter was in town. We went over there because, you find some little toys. And the first place I go in Five Below is the toy section. $5 drum set. Where are you going to get that?
Can't beat that, Tony.
Listen to this thing.
The sad thing is that I'd already gotten him some of those
Play Leonard Sandman for me?
The electric drumsticks.
I have electric drumsticks.
Where they at?
I wanted to get a banjo, too.
They're upstairs.
Because I could play all the electric instruments.
Where are the electric drumsticks?
All the
They're
air
upstairs
instruments.
on the dining room table.
But one needs a battery. Somebody must have turned it and left it on in the Five Below. Who would have thought that somebody would go into a Five Below store
and play with them all day?
Those were not from Five Below.
The drumsticks weren't from. I told you we went into this Five Below. I said I want this, this, and this. And then and then Robin goes and checks out, and makes pretend that I can't see that she's just bought the things that I asked for and spent a whopping $20 on me for Christmas.
AJ in San Antonio, down in BCC, the South. They married their cousins so they don't have to have these arguments. That's true. It's true.
Yes.
Eliminates all chances.
Well, wasn't there a song that was like "I'm My Own Grandpa" or something like that? Do you remember this, Tony?
What's that?
Wasn't there a song that was "I'm My Own Grandpa"?
I don't know that song.
It's it.
I gave you Cliff Richard. I gave you a little Great White with Once Bitten, Twice Shy, baby.
Fantastic song.
So now, is there a wedding card? That's the next question. That says, what's the official name of that?
Ray Stevens, "I'm My Own Grandpa."
Oh, I love Ray. Ray Stevens did The Streak, Get Tarzan. Remember him?
No.
Look it up, Tony. "I'm My Own Grandpa" by Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens did The Streak. He did, all these crazy zany songs back in the 70s and 80s.
Did you find it?
No, what's it called?
"I'm My Own Grandpa" by Ray Stevens.
You don't know Ray Stevens, Luigi?
No, I don't. I really don't, Tony.
You never heard the song The Streak?
No. I've done it.
Well,
You've done it.
The lyrics many, many years ago when I was 23, I was
I'm my own grandpa.
I'm my own grandpa.
That's the actual, because you know how Spotify works.
I'm my own grandpa. Pa, not pop. Grandpa.
And of course, no results found for "I'm my own grandpa."
Okay, I'll bring it up on YouTube.
You are your own worst enemy, though.
Sons of bitches. Spotify sucks, and I pay for it, so I can say it.
You pay for that?
Yeah, I pay for this crap. It's an outrage.
That's why I go with
here we go.
iTunes, brother.
Hold on.
Apple Music, baby.
Here we go. Are we ready? Are we ready for my own?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Is it playing? Why is it not playing?
Yeah, Ray Stevens has done so many songs you've heard but don't know who it is. Come on.
Many years ago, when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as can be. This widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. My father fell in love with her, and soon they too were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law and really changed my life.
This is horrible.
Now my daughter was my mother, because she was my father's wife. And to complicate the matter,
it explains things,
though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. My little baby then became a brother-in-law to Dad, and so became my uncle.
Are you paying attention?
Though it made me
Very deep.
sad.
You have to follow this. It's very deep.
You're very
If he were my uncle, then that also made him brother of the widow's grown-up daughter, who was, of course, my stepmother. Father's wife then had a son who kept them on the run, and he became my grandchild, for he was my daughter's son.
We have to get to the
My
actual
wife
point of this whole
is
thing.
now my mother's mother, and it makes me blue, because although she is my wife, she's my grandmother too. Now, if my wife is my grandmother, then I'm her grandchild. Yeah. And every time I think of it, nearly drives me wild. 'Cause now I have become the strangest case you ever saw. As of my grandmother. I am my own grandpa.
There we go.
I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny.
Did you follow that?
Yeah.
This reminds me of that old country classic, She Broke My Heart, So I Broke Her Jaw.
My own grandpa.
So a son marries a woman, his dad marries his daughter. That's how it works if you're following the genealogy there. Big and South, down in Alabama, where I raised my first son. You know what I'm saying?
See,
you know what's weird about Ray Stevens? You know, he did a
This
lot
song?
of these zany songs. No, he's done a lot of crazy songs, but he had one monster hit that it wasn't crazy, because most of his songs were zany things like that. You know, The Streak.
Mm-hmm.
You go look at all of his hits, but this is the one song that was a monster hit. Remember this song? This was his biggest song, and it was played everywhere on every radio station. Listen close.
You need to turn your end up.
It's my dingling.
No, that was Chuck Berry. This is Everything is Beautiful.
Oh.
Everything is beautiful.
God, they use this on commercials.
In its own way.
This is not a joke song.
This is a great song.
I'm waiting for the joke.
Yeah, there's
No
no
joke.
joke. No, this was just a regular hit.
I've never heard the song before in my life.
God, Luigi, what have you been under a rock?
I've been stuck in the Wu-Tang Clan for the past, I've been in the 36 Chambers for 20 years.
Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way.
Listen,
He actually had a good voice.
Oh no, he was I don't know if he's still alive.
There's none so blind as he who will not see. We must
Great
not
song.
close our minds. We must let our thoughts be free. For every eye that
Is he still
passes
alive?
by,
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, he is. He is 80 years old. He was born January 24th, 1939. He was born Harold Ray Ragsdale.
Not Ray Rags, my buddy from South Philly here.
And,
Ray Rags.
We had a guy
he
named
was-
Ray Rags who worked at the junkyard.
He won the Grammy. He won the Grammy for Everything is Beautiful and Misty.
Yeah.
He did Misty as well.
And he did Guitar Zan, which was another spoof song, The Streak. As I mentioned, he did a lot of zany songs.
He's included in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
No, he's a legend. No
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Born in Clarksdale, Georgia.
Beautiful, man.
Yep.
This
Look at
was a
that
number
smooth,
one hit.
sultry
Oh, yeah.
This was a number one hit on
Yeah.
AM Top 40 radio back in. Good song, man. Is he still performing?
I
Stevie V
don't think
checking
so.
in, Tony, who we met yesterday.
Yes,
He says,
Stevie
Luigi,
V.
you need to do a couple gigs with DJ Stevie V. I'll do a couple gigs with him.
Not
I'm
DJ,
available,
not
man.
DJ Tommy D.
Available.
or
Funk and
TJ.
Fantasy has been shut down for the immediate
Is it
future.
over?
It's over. It's a
Fantasy's
final.
over?
Fantasy football is over.
Oh, but I thought you were going to do like other types of fantasy stuff.
No, I'm not going to do. No, if
How
I
about the
if-
fantasy
first
show
of all,
bar? You
if
going to
I
go there and do a
if
show?
I do fantasy NBA, Tony will kill me.
That's true.
I'll
And I
kill
don't-
you if you do regular NBA.
Oh, by the way, did you get the Facebook thing I shared with you?
Which one? I don't
With
go
you
on
and Tony?
Facebook.
It was Elf made into a thriller.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that yet.
I saw it, but I didn't know.
It's the
open it.
movie Elf turned into a
Oh, let me see
thriller
if I
with the
can-
music. Robin, play if you can play it. I shared it with you and Tony on Facebook yesterday, but you should be able to play it. It's the movie Elf turned into a thriller. It's hilarious.
Actually, Elf was the only movie I watched this Christmas holiday season because it's a classic.
Stevie V, you got to hit me up, man. I'll definitely DJ with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you. Robin, can you turn my machine on, please?
It is.
This one here?
Yeah.
Why is it not playing?
I don't know. I didn't touch it. Hello.
Oh, here it is.
I hear you.
See, the applause is still playing, so when I played that, it's still playing because I didn't stop the other one. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Let's go back to John Tesh in progress.
Thank you, appreciate it. John's from Abbott says, do we do fantasy baseball? I don't. Ba, 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 da, da, da. Greatest theme song ever in the history of sports.
Oh, yeah.
find it, Robin? All right, we got to play. This is fantastic. You know what? I'm going to blare this out my car driving out here.
Okay, Tony, are you ready for the elf? Tony.
Wait a minute, wait. I'm in a drum solo.
He's deep into a drum solo right now.
I'm sorry, folks. I really apologize for having gotten him this table drum set. But if we're all lucky, it'll break soon.
Yeah. It only costs $5.
M. Lewis 5150 says Monday Night Football theme blows this away.
No way. No way. Barco 24 says the Hockey Night in Canada original theme. I've never heard that though.
No, that one's good. That one's good. But I don't know. There is something about this song, I have to say.
Tony's fucking jamming right now.
All right.
They just threw the drums.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
You should
Tony,
have just tossed him into the air.
Tony, can you turn it off so that?
All right, it's off.
Okay.
I don't want to play the entire. You have to pay to see me live at Red Rocks. Do that this coming summer in 2020.
All right. Coming this summer, the re-release of Elf as a thriller rather than a
the Christmas classic.
Are we ready?
Fantastic.
Let's go to the tape.
Turn the volume up.
I know, I'm going.
Yeah.
World.
Mr. Hobbs?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think someone sent you a Christmas gram.
Excuse me. I'm here to see a Walter Hobbs. Dad! I walked all day and night to find you.
You look like you came from the North Pole.
That's exactly where I came from.
It's a little complicated, but it's nothing
Honey.
that we can't handle.
Honey. He thinks he's an elf.
I'm sorry, what?
I was adopted, but you didn't know I was born. I found you. And guess what? I love you. I love you. I love you.
You get the hell out of here. This is some kind of game. What do you want, some money?
No. I just wanted to meet you. I thought you might want to meet me.
You saw that guy out there. He's certifiably insane.
Looks like a Christmas tree.
He's probably just reverting to a state of childlike dependency.
What are we gonna do? We can't leave him alone here.
What he needs is to be nurtured.
They were just having a little fun.
Fun. So felonies are fun now.
Introduce him to Emily and Michael.
Go away!
Once he comes to terms with reality, he should drop the whole elf thing and move on with his life.
I can't go to sleep unless I get tucked in.
See that, Rob?
All right, let's get it over with.
I'm Buddy the Elf.
That is awesome. That is fantastic.
That's really good.
Now, I'll go see that.
That is really great.
There's not one movie out that interests me.
I mean, this just goes to show you that editing
Oh, yeah.
is 90% of a movie.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Like if you have, we just saw a movie that was so badly edited that we're like, this could have been a great movie.
Was it back in the day?
No. You know what it was?
What was it?
It was the Ryan Reynolds' new Netflix movie out. That Below.
But it's actually good though. I like it.
No, the thing is that it has a great premise. It has great action, but the editing sucked. There were so many.
Because it's Michael Bay.
It was so much.
Bay?
There was continuity issues.
It was no.
There was like a lot of different
for
things.
a Netflix movie, because Michael Bay makes all the big explosion movies. You know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did all the Transformer things. I mean, he does everything he does, and he blow up cars and shit. Robin and I watching it the other night because I love Ryan Reynolds. But you know what's happening? And as much as I love him, he's basically Deadpool in this movie without the uniform.
Without the uniform,
without the suit on.
And he's rich.
And he's not quite as dead. He's like half Deadpool.
Yeah, but I'm saying when you watch him and you listen to him now, especially in this role, because he's he's a guy who's supposed to be dead. He's a ghost, and he comes back, and he goes out and gets the bad guys, and he has a group of people who are all ghosts, which means that they're not alive anymore, or nobody knows anything about them, and so they take it upon themselves to go out and get rid of bad guys, which is a good premise. There's a lot of cars blowing up and Alfa Romeos and all the typical Michael Bay. It wasn't bad, but there's a reason why it wasn't released in regular theaters. Because a movie that big, that's a big budget movie.
Yep.
Well,
I know Netflix spends
paid
money
for it, so that's why it was released on Netflix. They did that on purpose. It wasn't that was the only choice that they had.
Yeah, that was
they
a huge
made
budget.
it for Netflix.
We saw the worst movie made in 2018. Because,
Yeah.
I'm up late at night. The sports is over.
Oh, God. What did you watch?
I didn't even know this was considered the worst movie of 2018. Mortal Engines was on HBO or one of those stars.
Yeah, no, nobody's heard of it. There's a reason why.
Porn?
No, it's like
It's
it was
a
based
weird-
upon
it's
a
weird.
book, and it's like the stupidest premise ever. It's like this post-apocalyptic world, supposedly, where there was like
Mortal Engines.
yeah, where cities have become. They're on
Machines.
wheels. They're on machines. So, like London is this huge machine
And
with people
London's
living in it.
rolling around Europe looking to take over smaller countries.
How's London Bridge doing, though? Is it falling down? Or
They still have bad dental care even on this island where they're
Right.
all alone because
You
they
hate
don't
to
have
see it.
anything.
You hate to see
It was like it looked pretty though. Like so it was late at night. There really wasn't anything else on. Neither one of us were tired, and so we turned it on and we kind of because it looked pretty, we kept watching it. And we kept saying, "This is really stupid, right?" And Tony would say, "Yeah, this is really stupid." And then we would keep watching it.
Yeah, once you're into a movie, it's
You're
like
into
that's
a
why I won't watch 3-hour movie. That's why I won't watch The Stupid Irishman.
It's not stupid.
I won't watch it.
It's a good movie, Tony.
I don't care if The Godfather's
AJ
on.
in San Antonio, yay!
He's been there.
Back?
He's been there.
Oh, I didn't
see him. I got the drums blocking my view now. I got to get these things tied down solidly so that when I go on a nice drum solo.
It's a strong
He
magnet.
says that he did listen to the pregame show yesterday, and he's just been out of town. But I'm glad to hear he's okay. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't want him to hate me because the Cowboys lost. It's not my fault. It's not my fault the Cowboys won, although the Carson Wentz nudity, I'm taking total credit for that.
Yeah, you got to take credit for that.
I think I showed a young man, very religious, a man who probably doesn't show his body much in public, that there's nothing wrong with doing that.
your naked body is beautiful.
It's a strong magnet.
Yes.
That's what
the idea is supposed to be.
this is what the maker gave me. Why are people ashamed of their bodies? Why are people afraid to be naked?
We should do a whole show naked.
Naked and unafraid. That should be the new show. Naked
Unfortunately,
and unafraid.
we cannot do a Twitch show naked.
Why?
They frown upon that on Twitch, and they really shouldn't because
You're going
nudity-
against everything that Jesus Christ created.
all I gotta
Exactly.
say, no nudity
If
on
we just
Twitch.
if everybody didn't worry about what shoes to wear, what shirts and jeans,
Wait, so you can
it
have
would
some
be a
chicks
much
shaking
better
and stuff
work.
all over the place, and that's perfectly fine. But I take my shirt off, and
Everything
it's
is
a problem.
beautiful.
What if I'm wearing my
in
swimming
its own
trunks?
way. You're fine with that. I think Well, you know what? Twitch probably they're saying like you can't do anything sexual, nudity, all that, and anything that's sexy. And if any of us were wearing swimsuits, I don't think they would call it sexy, so it would be okay.
I don't know. Have you seen me
Oh,
in my
maybe you.
banana
maybe
hammock?
you would be, but Tony and I probably not so much.
So Antonio Brown is back at it this morning.
AB, baby!
Even though he was in New Orleans and had a tryout on Friday. Remember that story?
Mm-hmm.
And they can't sign him, obviously, because he hasn't been cleared. So he tweets this morning an hour ago, 51 minutes ago. Boo Boo Schuster was ready under 500. You bum, learn some respect. So I guess he's ripping the Steelers now.
Let me translate.
Can you translate what that means?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, obviously talking about Juju Schuster. Boo Boo Schuster was ready instead of already under 500. You bum, learn some respect.
Yeah. So what he's saying is Jimmy Juju Schuster was already under 500 yards receiving.
Correct.
For the season.
I speak jive.
Please understand what I'm trying to say to you.
In other words, you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth.
I am the official AB translator, Ebonic to English.
And so a guy writes to him, Juju had 42 receptions for 552 yards, which, unless I'm mistaken, is more than 500 yards.
Yes.
Apparently, the math classes at Central Michigan aren't going so well for Big Chest. So it's a verified guy who's an evening host in Pittsburgh, Paul Zeiss, on 93.7 The Fan, Whenever I'm in Pittsburgh, I always tune in to 93.7 The Fan with Paul Gazice. And Paul, he does nightly sports call on CW15, the CW. When you're on the CW.
Not the BBW.
No. And not the UPN.
No, not the UPN.
That's gone, right?
Oh, yeah.
UPN's gone.
It's the CW
Thank
still
you,
around.
Rebel Man 9311. Can we do a quick homework since we haven't done it?
Homework.
Yes, homework in quite some time. I want to thank everybody for sticking with us while we had this hiatus. And that if you've tuning back in, you're resubscribing and sending bits and all that on twitch.tv. If you are listening on any other platform, whether it's Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook Live, all of those, the only way to truly support the show where you can be active and you're hearing all of us read off the comments, those are only on twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show. And you can have access to everything for free. You can follow, you can watch the show for free. If you want to subscribe, you can even do that for free. If you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can combine your Amazon Prime and your Twitch account to get a Twitch Prime membership, which allows you to subscribe to one show per month for eternity for free. So you just have to resubscribe every single month and designate which show you want to subscribe to, which of course is going to be the Tony Bruno Show. So that and we want to thank all of the people who are constantly loyal and talk to us every single day. And if you are a subscriber, you can also watch all the archived shows. And that's the only thing. There's a couple other benefits if you're a subscriber, but the biggest benefit, you can see the archive show.
You can mock us. You can put
you can put masks on. You can highlight. Now we just found out Twitch just added this as a benefit. If you are a subscriber, you can highlight your text so that it's easier for us to see. Because we got to tell you, like, you guys are so fantastic that we are constantly getting all these texts that are just streaming by. So sometimes it's hard to see.
But unlike Twitter, though, I'll give Twitch credit for this. On the Twitch stream, you can see because there's a full page, and so missing anybody's text to the show on the Twitch is pretty hard to do because we're all we have 3 pairs of eyes on it here. That would be 6 pairs of eyes here, or 6 eyes, not 6 pairs. It'd be 3 pair of eyes
for the same price as one.
Exactly.
Now,
and so we don't really miss any of the great comments, but some of them are in different colors, and I guess you're highlighted and you get to see it more. And we thank you for the bits. As I've been saying all along, you keep throwing away money to politicians who are not even going to have a chance to become president. Scratch-offs. $5 a month. You could support this show and feel better about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Make sure I get fed, things like that.
Luigi, so he doesn't have to keep getting up and going to the bathroom and getting nuts because he can't sit through a 2-hour show.
Oh, somebody just made it rain.
Yeah, making it rain. Was that cash?
I think that was. I think
AJ
that was
in San Antonio
AJ
just made it rain.
Oh, straight cash, homie. Straight cash.
Oh,
that's
awesome.
awesome.
That might be my favorite one so far.
Make it rain.
No shit.
Luigi almost made it rain in the massage parlor.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Actually, I almost made an arraignment is what happened. Could you imagine that if I get busted? Breaking news on 6 o'clock. Bruno producer Luigi Curto has been busted at a local massage joint
on
for getting his joint massaged.
He got his joint massaged.
That's right.
He'll be in the joint right now.
All right. If I didn't pay for it, though, does that make a difference?
Can you gift somebody a free
yeah,
handy?
Exactly. Could you imagine that?
Well, no, because the only way it's prostitution is if you're trading
cash.
money.
That's a quid pro quo. You should be impeached for that, Luigi. I think you should be impeached.
Quid pro quo.
I think that if you're not paying for it, then you're dating somebody. Right. So you
trust me, you always pay for it.
I would like to release a minute and a half to the gentleman from North Carolina, please. Thank you. Yeah. So the gentleman from North Carolina says thank you.
Our top story today. So.
Yeah, and we were actually only going to go 2 hours, so technically we're a little bit
in
over.
overtime.
We're in
overtime because I got to leave soon.
So here's the deal. Where you got to go?
I got to go back home. I got to walk Penny. I got a couple things I got to do.
That's ridiculous.
I know, See, if you had had Penny here.
I know. If I had Penny here, I hope she would go in your damn trash cans.
She wouldn't do that.
No, she can't because our trash cans are behind a door.
So
okay, well,
let me repeat what's going on this Black Monday.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Black Friday or Black Punani, which I love, and who doesn't? Come on. You know
Black
what I'm
the
saying?
berry, sweeter the juice, my friend.
Exactly right. Come on, man.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get to. So we now know that one thing that looks like an apparent lock. Well, Jason Garrett has been fired in Dallas, and apparently
Is it now official? Because
the
it was
fact
like
that he's gone. Yeah. The
somewhat
other
official.
thing. No, it's official. Jason Garrett.
He's gone.
He's gone, and nobody's celebrating. But the fact that Jerry Jones, and I gave him credit again, did the right thing. He didn't come out of the locker room and said, "That's it, get out of here" to everybody. He waited until the next morning. Cleveland obviously was the first to go. And the other coaches, we don't know whether they're gone or not. But when you fire a head coach, normally coaching staffs get changed. Guys go out and get new defensive coordinator, offensive coordinators, whatever. But the question is, I'm going right now, and I'm using ESPN because Adam Schefter is the best in the business, and that's who I will rely on. So the Washington Redskins, Carolina Panthers coach Ron Rivera, apparently that's going to happen. It looks like it's going to happen. Freddie Kitchens is gone. Cleveland got rid of him the second the game ended, told him to clean out his office. And the Giants' Pat Shurmur was fired this morning by the New York Giants. Their general manager, Dave Gettleman, maintains his job, but it's obvious it looks like Ron Rivera is going to be the number one candidate. He hasn't been hired yet, but certainly he's the guy atop the leaderboard to take over that job in D.C. Now, as far as the Cowboys and Carolina, Carolina already interviewed Mike McCarthy.
Wow, Tony, this just came out, too, from Tampa. Did you see what Bruce Arians said?
What did he say?
Bruce Arians.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk about the situation
No,
with
he
his
said
quarterback?
Bruce Arians was asked if he can win with another quarterback. Quote, with another quarterback? Oh, yeah. If we can win with this one, we can definitely win with another one.
Yeah, I mean, but last night he was asked about, we were joking yesterday on the pregame show about the 30 for 30 touchdowns. Yeah, but last night he was asked after the game, is Jameis Winston, are you going to want to bring him back? Because his deal is up. And so he said, we're not even going to discuss that right now. So last night he refused to discuss it post-game when the Arizona Cardinals lost in their finale. Not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his former team, was the Arizona Cardinals, and he lost in Tampa Bay. And on an interception, his 30th interception of the year in overtime to the Atlanta Falcons, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. When does he get his 30 for 30? That's what I want to know.
He just got it. He's also asked this. He goes, he was asked about Jameis Winston's vision issues. His response was simply, he's nearsighted. He can't see the scoreboard, but he can see the guys in front of him. That is what was just said about Jameis Winston.
He's nearsighted?
Yep.
Then how did he throw 30 touchdown passes?
It's how he threw in 30 interceptions, though.
Yeah, but he still threw 30 touchdown passes.
He can see the guys in front of him, but he can't see the scoreboard.
So I'm giving you the situation. That's a situation with personnel, and obviously in Tampa, they have a big decision to make.
He's going full savage mode.
But when the quarterback comes out and says, I want $30 million a year, and throws 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns, and there's a lot of mixed emotions in Tampa about Jameis. Jameis is a talented guy. Question is, can you have a quarterback go deep into the playoffs throwing 30 interceptions?
Well, this right here goes to show you he's half blind, Tony.
Well, the officials are half blind too, and then we still play football. But they're old. Anyway, the Carolina Panthers, I mentioned, they're talking to Mike McCarthy, and they also, and who obviously has ties to
ESPN 30 for 30, Jameis Winston. I fucking suck. There you go.
Matt Rule's going to come in. So Matt Rule already has a couple of interviews. We know he's going to be interviewed by the Carolina Panthers. We know the Giants are definitely already. If they're not on the phone already, they will be on the phone with him. I said this.
How about Dabo?
Dabo's ready?
You think Dabo Sweeney gets a bit of a look?
No, he's got a championship to play for against LSU. And how about that Clemson game? I didn't watch much college football because I saw the score early, and that this is why college football will always be inferior to the National Football League.
Pourquoi?
And again, you can watch whatever game you want. I'm not telling you. When you pick 4 teams in this championship playoff system, and then the 2 teams that play the first game, 1 against 4, and the number 1 team puts up 63 points.
Yeah.
And again, I don't hate Oklahoma. I'm not a Clemson fan. I'm not an LSU fan.
They scored 35 in garbage time.
Exactly. My point is, you're not going to see that in the NFL playoffs. You didn't even see it a lot yesterday with teams with really nothing to play for.
The only game that was way out of hand was that New Orleans Saints game. That was it. And that's because Carolina Panthers are just completely just done.
Yeah, they're shot.
Done. They're done.
And again, and Drew Brees is putting up all kinds of. What's he going to do? Stop throwing the ball?
No,
I'm glad they got him out of there because I wanted him out of there earlier because you get ready for the playoffs. If you're the Saints, you can't risk hurting guys because you're running up the score.
No, it's too bad
on a horseshit Carolina team.
Too bad Teddy Bridgewater didn't get that touchdown throw.
I know that's bullshit, man.
$500,000.
Exactly.
$500,000.
So now in Cleveland, of course, you know who they want to talk to. They've already asked permission. Guess who they want to talk to?
Who?
In Cleveland.
Who?
Josh McDaniels. And you know who else they want to talk to?
Who?
Ravens offensive coordinator Greg Roman, a guy who's done the guy is absolute. I don't know about a head coach, but as a guy who can run offenses and get the best out of players.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Everywhere he's gone.
I'll tell you one thing right now. I think Josh McDaniels is going to be the heir apparent in New England.
I agree.
I think he's going to be the heir apparent. And I also think that I have this feeling that once
tonight's going to be a good night.
Well, yeah, we always have that feeling tonight. But I have this feeling that once Brady says goodbye, I think Belichick will too.
Guess who else wants to talk to Josh McDaniels?
Who?
The New York Football Giants. According to Chris Mortensen, well, the Giants are really focused in on my guy, Matt Rule. Mort says Matt Rule is the guy the Giants are focused in on. But they're also requesting, and you get the request to interview other coordinators, and you can do that. So Josh McDaniels, Eric Bieniemy, who's the Chiefs offensive coordinator.
Eric sleeping with the enemy, Bieniemy.
The great Chris Berman gave him that nickname. Eric sleeping with Bieniemy.
Sleeping with the enemy, Bieniemy.
Remember where he played college football, Eric Bieniemy?
Eric Bieniemy was at
Come on, man.
Florida State.
Oh, no, man.
No, where was he at?
Come on, man.
Where was he at?
Come on.
Where was he at?
I don't remember, but it wasn't.
Well, see, come on, man.
I think it was out in San Diego State.
I knew that was
coming. No, it was one of those schools. It was like San Diego State.
What
are you doing here, Robin?
He doesn't know, Robin. You can always tell when he's like, "Come on, man. Come on. Where was he? I don't remember."
In Colorado.
Colorado.
That's where he played.
Where the great Michael Westbrook was there too, and Rashawn Salam.
Up in Boulder, Colorado.
And Cordell Stewart.
Second-round draft pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're getting I get a lot of love here from Twitter saying, "Nice show today, everybody. Nice show."
Well, thank you. It's fun. It's good to be back. I feel good. Robin obviously has been through a tough month, and I've been through a tough couple of months. But, hey, we're alive. We're happy. We're healthy-ish. We got drums. We got Christmas stuff. It's the holiday season.
Got a 14-pound prime rib in the fridge.
Exactly.
Life is good, guys.
Life is good.
Life is good.
Dean's going to have to send me a case of wine soon.
I know.
It doesn't get any better than that,
No,
does it?
does not. Especially
Eagles
from
are
Michael
playoff bound, baby.
Beautiful.
No one's called for Mike Grove. But Mike Grove, all the hate. The coaching staff did their job, the Eagles coaching staff. Did they not?
I'll tell you one guy who's really stepped up his game, Mr. Deuce Staley.
Oh,
the running backs coach.
Awesome.
Robin,
In the meantime, don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive, and make sure you get to the State Store before it closes on New Year's Eve.
Hurry up.
We'll see you tomorrow right here on our New Year's Eve special, baby.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Tony Bruno Show on BrunoNation Live. Don't forget to subscribe on the Twitch mobile app so you don't miss any of BrunoNation's hilarity and hijinks, because it is definitely must-watch radio. Of course, you can catch the archived audio on your favorite podcast app like Spreaker or iTunes. Plus, if you subscribe via Twitch, you can watch any of our archived videos. We hope to see you back here every Monday through Friday. See you soon.